Hello, and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thanks for joining us. Before we begin, just a few brief announcements. If you're enjoying the if you're enjoying the campaign, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you think you know someone who might enjoy the show, please share on social media. You can find us on Twitter at Casting Roles and on Facebook at Casting Roles ILM. Episodes will stream here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you'll have the opportunity to join some of the cast potentially in the chat. And video uploads will be available on YouTube on Friday of the same week. And with no other announcements, let's start the show. So, ticket takers.
Oh, God.
It really gets me every time. I forget.
I feel humiliated every time.
That is a gift. That is a gift that keeps on giving.
Hopefully you guys never get like respectable and decide that you need to like a more respectable name or something.
Nope.
I don't think there's a danger of that happening.
All right. So ticket takers. You've begun your careers as adventurers by attempting to put together the funds and writs of commendation needed to officially establish the Adventurers Guild. With a deadline of 1 week until the guild master comes from Alyria to officiate the ceremony for the Adventurers Guild, you journey to the town of Inniswood and then into the Deepwood to discover the causes of the town's dried up river. You discovered the workings of mutated giant beavers. Dealing with these foes and their parasitic fauna, you were approached by Tiernan Vale, a tabaxi who did not hide his true dragon nature from you. During a conversation of threats and mistrust, Tiernan offered to help you destroy the dam and the town of Inniswood in the process, but your careful maneuvering through his chaotic conversation left him simply as a witness to your own attempts to release water from the dam without destroying it all at once. After some careful maneuvering, spellcraft, the use of an unseen servant with an attitude, and a spectral hand, you were able to fashion a barricade to block up the secondary runoff from the Beaver's Lake, sending the water cresting over the spillway on the dam. Making your way safely back out of the forest, you arrived back in Inniswood, where first, Dashel Cask, the owner of the mill, and then Muriel Redleaf, you were the bearers of both good tidings and bad news. Both rewarded you for your services, but the obvious shock of the dragon's warning lessened their celebratory welcome of your success. As you exited town, you were approached by Handel, a local spokesman for some of the poor loggers, who informed you that the money Muriel paid you with was taken as an additional tax from the people, even though she supplied with funds from the crown to aid in the town's defense. You returned the money, and Handel thanked you, and let you know that Vox Populi would remember your deeds. Deciding to camp a ways away from the town, especially after realizing that one of Muriel's half-ogre bodyguards was watching you from a distance, you made your way into the hills nearby and set up camp. So with the sun rising on your 4th day together as adventurers, ticket takers, what would you like to do?
She's going to do his morning stretches.
Okay.
I love that he has morning stretches. Stretches.
It's like Sonic's idle animation. The like,
Pulling the legs.
yeah.
Perfect. All right, anything else? Anybody else doing anything this morning as you're waking up? You're muted.
Nope.
Cleaning up the campsite, getting ready for another day's march. The usual thing. Taking a look around to see if we're being observed by anyone.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check. And if
16.
any are... Oh, 16?
Mm-hmm.
Looking around, I don't think Source was the one who saw it the night before, but up on the hills, there's nobody. There are some birds that you can see flying, and these are some of the first birds that you've seen in the area since you guys left the Deepwood. Some, morning flittering, but there's nobody up on the hills looking at you. There's nobody off in the distance. You look to be currently unobserved.
Excellent.
I believe Abel would be somewhat concerned about Miss Muriel Redleaf and the way she's running her town. So I'm going to ask the rest of the group, do you think we should go back and confront her? for stealing from the townspeople?
I
No, bad idea.
Do you think so, little friend?
That's a
I
future
think
us problem.
Yeah, I think we should continue and get the third writ that we need and the money we need and get that back so that we can get the Adventurers Guild fully ensconced as an actual guild. At that point, we'll have additional credibility and can return. And that'll also let things settle down in the town because they've got the ultimatum from Tiernan not to log anymore in the forest. If they break that, then he's going to destroy the town and we won't be there. If we go back in right away, we risk endangering ourselves. If we go back and they're still around, we can claim it as a follow-up just to check on them and give us a reason for being back. And so potentially can do some investigation rather than direct confrontation right off the bat.
Okay, we will give them time to sort out their own problems. I'll just gather my things for the trip back.
All right, so as you are kind of gathering together and looking, just as a reminder of what the third task was, I don't remember who had the cards, but whoever it is, I think Source
The night. Yeah, it's the night, the thing disappearing in the night.
Yeah, what he called the Dragon's Hoard or whatever, where like it appears that things are coming and at night and attacking a town and then stealing stuff. So the way it's written on there, he's titled it the Dragon's Hoard. In the town of Northwick, the local townspeople have said that at night, dragon people are raiding their homes, and sometimes while workers are away in the fields, things will show up missing when they return as well.
So should we head to Northwick next?
Yes.
Yes, because remember, Northwick is south of Broadfield. And you all are currently you guys are a little southeast of Broadfield. So if you wanted to curve down a little bit and then go back up, all of these did include small little hand-drawn maps. So if you take like the map that they gave you to get to Inniswood and the map that they gave you to get to Northwick, you could probably kind of piece together a path that would go. And it looks like there might be a road, but it also looks like those two maps don't join together. So you could maybe find a road that heads that direction.
Let's do that.
So this will be the last writ that we need. Let us be on our way.
All right, so you all pack up your gear and you start heading down the road. Are you going to travel at a fast pace, a normal pace? How do you want to make this journey?
How far away is it?
From Broadfield, it's only like 10 miles. And kind of, it looks like Inniswood was more like 17 or 18 miles. It took you almost 6 or 7 hours to get here. So it looks kind of like if you curved around, it might take you 2 or 3 hours to get to Northwick, maybe, based on that journey. It looks like it's almost like halfway between here and where Broadfield is.
Normal pace.
Yes,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
All right, whoever's leading this, you can roll a perception check for me, and then if somebody wants to aid, you can roll with advantage.
I can lead us.
I'll
I
aid.
can.
All right, so go ahead and roll for advantage there, Mar.
23.
23. Okay, so the sun's rising in the horizon, and Mar, your attention's immediately drawn to the sky as you wake up, and Rylal, the main moon, is slowly setting above the horizon. You see its waxing gibbous shape, kind of there, falling below the horizon. But the second moon, Selena, she is a little smaller than Rylal, and she's always alternating with him, and so she's rising in the western sky at the same time, and you kind of see her light, like white shape in the background, and she's kind of beginning her arc across the sky during the day today. Other than that, like, it seems like you don't run across anything that seems dangerous in your journey. About halfway through, as you guys are going, there is a figure walking towards you in the distance, kind of slowly, but just a lone figure walking along the path in your direction. And as you get closer, you kind of see an older figure kind of hunched over with a cane and making its way. And then but there's a kind of a hood up blocking, so you can't really see the face too well to tell male, female, or anything like that. But it's kind of just slowly making their way further on.
They are coming towards us.
Yeah, you guys are heading like northwest, and they're coming southeast along that road, and you're kind of crossing paths.
So as we're crossing paths, Abel will yell out, "Hello, friend. How are you this morning?"
And they kind of look up, and they have like one good eye, and they're kind of squinting.
Hey,
They're like,
easy.
"Hey, hello, hello there. Just traveling, not wanting any bad business." And you can see it's even then it's like hard to tell whether it's like a man or a woman. Like, just a general like old person face. But they're just kind of moving along, and you see they're wearing a really heavy cloak. This is the equivalent of maybe early spring, and so the temperature this morning is a little cool, but they're wearing a winter cloak that's kind of draped heavily over them, and they're kind of hunched over. Yeah, just moving on through. Hope you're doing well.
So are you from the town of Northwick?
No. I traveled through there yesterday. But no, I'm from Alyria.
Insight check.
Me too.
I don't trust this old person for a second.
Whether this is the DM like forgetting the name of a town or not.
Yeah. 18.
18. Yeah, I mean they're a little shifty for sure.
Okay.
They're definitely not they're not from Alyria, but they're being a little shifty.
Mm-hmm.
You also Mar, with that role, you get the sense that a lot of the mannerisms that they're doing are feigned.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
No, yeah, Northwick last night, heading to Inniswood today.
We are going to Northwich to help them with their problem of the dragon people and the missing items.
Oh,
Would you
my.
know anything about that?
Dragon people. I stayed at the tavern last night, and the River's Ransom Tavern, and they didn't say anything about any dragon people. But I also didn't talk to anybody. I like to stay by myself.
That voice, man.
You're welcome.
Does Mar tell us like this person's kind of shifty?
In front of this dude, do you want me to go, hey, by the way, real shifty
I
motherfucker?
didn't see Mar as one to observe like social norms, really. So
I observe it and I say nothing.
Seems the old person isn't the only shifty person on the trail.
He's not gonna say it. What do you want me to do? Like try to like sign at you and be like, no, bad. Go.
we need to come up with a group sign or something.
If I tried to roll a deception check right now, I'd fail. I guarantee you.
Then we have no reason really to accost this person any further. So
Pass on and keep moving.
yeah.
Well, you all have a safe trip, and bye. They just keep moving on.
Thank you.
And they, like, you were watching them approach Mar, and they were like hamming up the like kind of the hump, like with their cane. As you keep going, there's a moment where you turn around and they're not using the cane; they're walking just fine.
this person done stole something. Or
All right.
Thieving
Well,
ass.
also,
I'm not gonna put them on blast. They can do what they want to do.
and if you're a lone traveler out in the middle of nowhere and you're approaching a heavily armed group of 5 people, I might be willing to be deceptive as well. So
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
All right. So you keep traveling, and at one point, Mar, you get to a junction in the road, and the road, one road curves off and continues kind of in a more northern direction, and then the other one continues on in that northwestern direction. With your perception, you're conscious enough to know that the other road is the one that you traveled down when you were heading to Inniswood the first time. So you think that this might be the one that leads off. So you guys curve off that way. As you're going, you start to see these little shrine markers popping up on the side of the road. Just every now and then, Sully's found a toy behind me. Every now and then you see a little marker, and it's probably 2 feet tall, 3 feet tall on the side of the road, little stacked stones. And then the top stone is kind of curved up a little bit and has carvings in it. And they seem to be relatively regularly spaced out, maybe every quarter mile or so as you're walking through. And you pass one, and then you come up on another one, and then you come up on another one. If anybody wants to stop and investigate these as you're kind of passing through.
I'll check one out.
Okay, go ahead and roll a investigation check on it.
Uh-oh. I think I knock it over, guys.
What's this do?
It's a 6.
6. So, I mean, you're not going to fail to look at this thing. You might not pick up on anything special about it, but it is a stack of stones. The carving that's on it is very, very plain to see, and you'd have to be blind not to see it. You recognize that immediately. Come on, it's the symbol of Suvenar, the kind of the curling, crashing wave. It's slightly different than the symbol that your people use to represent him or them, but you also know that every tribe kind of has a different way of representing these universal gods, but you recognize that crashing wave symbolism. The next one you get to, it's not Suvenar. It's a symbol that's slightly different. It's kind of like a mound of like maybe earth with a tree sprouting out of it and kind of moving around. None of you. Roll. Anybody who's proficient in religion can roll a religion check.
I think I am.
Oh, no.
Really?
That's slightly better. Is it 10?
10.
14.
14. Okay. So this one is Tonatsa, who's the Riverlands is each of the, like you guys know that each of the gods kind of had an area of Alyria that they crafted and created as their place. And the Riverlands is like a unique space because it's where Suvenar and Tonatsa came together and built a realm where both of their peoples could exist in a symbiotic harmony. And so there's crisscrossing streams and rivers all through this area, and they all connect to Suvenar's major river that runs through Alyria. And so it looks like these markers are marking kind of that joint mission between these two gods to create this zone. The Deepwood that you just left was Tonatsa's main realm. That and the Veltland, which is on the opposite side of the continent, which is where most people grow crops and things like that. So this just seems to be marking that partnership.
Alrighty then.
All right. And so you continue traveling through, and nothing else really. It's a quiet day as you're moving through this area. This is a fairly well patrolled zone, and that knoll thing was definitely out of the norm for this part of Alyria, especially this close to the capital city and in where this is one of the major population centers for Alyria. But you do arrive at the town of Northwick, and It's a small community, as Riverland communities tend to be. It seems that Broadfield is establishing itself as a hub, and you're just getting kind of these spokes that are connecting off to different places that are going to provide different things. And so this is maybe as you kind of come over a hill down, and it's kind of down in a valley nearby, a small creek running past. It maybe looks like it would be a home for 200-300 people at most. You do see, you haven't seen this in any other towns, but you do see a distinct something that looks religious in nature, maybe a temple of some kind that's sitting in the center of the village as you're coming in. This village is also weird and strange because it's the first one that you've seen that doesn't have a palisade around it. There's no outer walls, so the village is just open to the plain, the valley plain that it's sitting in. All the homes here are built out of wood, except for what looks like one stone structure right at the entrance to town, which is a small tower. But as you pass that, you immediately recognize the symbol of the watchman. So this is obviously a watchman station here. And then you guys can kind of head into town and try to find your way around, or if you want to check in at the watchman station, those are kind of the directions that you see before you.
Does
So go ahead.
does the mission parameter sheet have a contact person for us?
Yes, the person's name on there it does say seek out the mayor, and the mayor's name is Thomas Malley.
I want to see if we can find a map of the area. Is there I was going to say convenience store. What is it?
A general store.
A general store. What that will have a map of the, if not the area, the all of Alyria, maybe.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check to see if you can, as you're looking around, to see if you can find it.
I have a +5 to investigation. Ooh, 21.
21. So it doesn't take you very long, and it's a really small town, and they all seem to have a really similar layout where you come in on a main drag, and every town that you've come in has had some form of watchman place near the entrance, some kind of town hall nearby, and then near that is some form of general store. And here you do come across a general store, and it just says dry goods on the outside, and it's not a huge building. It's relatively small, dusty windows on the outside, but you do locate what looks like a general store if you want to go in and check it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go inside.
So you head on inside, and the moment you open the door, you hear, well, first you smell. There's this fragrant smell of what is fresh baked bread. That kind of sourdoughy, yeasty kind of fragrance immediately hits you as you open the door. And there's a heat that is coming out of this building that kind of hits your face. It's this dry heat, and you open the door, and you immediately hear kind of this voice from the background that says, "Oh yes, I'll be right with you. I'm just getting the bread out of the oven." And you look, and what half of this looks like a general store, and the other half like it's been recently repurposed as a bakery. And there's an oven in the back, in kind of they've put stone around a space and then put an oven in that space. And there's this short kind of dwarven woman, dwarven woman there, and she's pulling a large sheet of what look like small little rolls out of this oven. Oh, that's hot. And she sets it down. And oh yes, it's bright and it's midday time, and we're getting the meals ready. Hi, what can I do for you? How can I help you?
Hello. I wanted to see if I could find a map of Alyria, or at least a map of the surrounding area.
Oh, maps. Those are. I definitely know I don't have a map of the whole continent. She kind of she pulls out a ledger and she starts flipping through it, and she's, we didn't get a shipment of paper goods from Broadfield recently, but if we have one, it might be over here. And she kind of heads off into the back, and she starts kind of going through what look like rolled up things, parchments and things, and she pulls one out and she finally she grabs one and she brings it back and she says, "This is a map of Broadfield and the surrounding areas. If that might be helpful."
That is exactly what I am looking for. How much
Okay.
do you want to part with it?
She kind of looks out. It's not very large. It's probably like not a legal size paper size map, and it's not extremely detailed, but you do see all the locations that you've currently been are labeled. The major rivers are labeled and the roads, but you don't get a lot more detail beyond that. There's no like drawings of like forests or hills or mountains or anything on that. It's not too much. I'd say 3 silver pieces.
Mm. Will you let it go for 2?
Sure. Yes. Fine. I didn't even look at it.
Just the small victories.
Exactly.
It's probably worth like 5 copper. So she's like, whatever. But
Well, damn.
she's like, well, as you can see, like, we're still keeping the general store pot open, but my real dream is this. And she kind of like motions over to the bakery side of it. She's like, we're really in the process. Ever since my husband hurt his leg and he's now up in the house, I got to take over, and so now we are doing baked goods. And
Yes, it's
that's
no
what we're doing.
delicious in here.
Yes, thank you. It's my own special recipe for I guess we'll call them the Northwick buns. Yes.
My partners and I have not had breakfast yet. What do you have that is good? And
Oh, well,
this morning?
yes. So she kind of heads over, like the counter where she took your money for the general store. She rushes over like 5 feet in the opposite direction, and she goes to this counter. And this one, like you can see that the top of the counter is gone. And she kind of is looking down. And when you join her over there, it's almost like a display case, but they don't have like a glass front. And there's collections of small little buns that have kind of an X cross on the top that look like they're glazed in some kind of maybe honey or molasses or something like that. There's a couple small circular with like a hole missing in the middle donut type, but they have seeds on them. They're not covered in like a glaze or anything. There's like looks like some kind of like, not sunflower seeds, but maybe a smaller type seed than that. And then
Poppy
she,
seed.
yeah, like maybe a little bigger than a poppy seed. It almost maybe looks like a sesame type seed, multiple colors. And then she's also got small little muffins that are, if you are looking closely at them, have some kind of greenery that was baked into them.
What's the name of the town again?
Northwick.
It's the Northwick Deli. Come on in and get yourself a sesame seed bagel.
Get your bagel.
Get you a bagel. We've got latkes in an hour.
Oh, God, yes. So these are, we've got the Northwick buns. I said my special recipe. We have these are sesame donuts, and then these over here are kale muffins. Quite delicious.
Kale muffins. Well, I believe, can I have 5 of your Northwick buns?
Oh, yes. Would you like the ones that just came hot and fresh out of the oven,
Yes,
or would you like
the
these here?
freshest ones that you have, please.
So she goes behind and she grabs a kind of a paper burlappy type thing, and she puts 5 of the buns, and she's like, oh, they're a little hot to the touch, and she puts them in there, and then sets them to your side. She says, that will be one gold for all 5.
Oh shit, that sounds steep. Hold on.
Even in the
Abel is
fictional
very-
world, no one's eaten the kale.
Exactly. Abel is like very naive to the outside world of Nuevia, so he feels like he got over on her with the map, so he'll give her the gold for the.
Okay. She takes it a little she takes it, she kind of gives you a little look, and she's just like, thank you. Yes. Okay. And
Kaimana's just like, the outside world's expensive.
I'm trying to think. Passive investigation type thing there, Mar. You immediately get the sense that like she probably hasn't. She she'd never been asked how much that these might cost, and so that was the price that she just set. So,
Cool.
You said,
Yeah.
wait, how much? You said 1 gold. How much gold did you say? I was
so you
One.
paid two
What's 1
silver,
gold?
2 silver per.
Yeah, I
which
remember the
is
2 silvers.
the cost of really nice beer, right? Like
That's
these were
fair.
Starbucks muffins prices that you just paid.
Oh
So
my goodness.
And those are bad.
But unlike Starbucks, these are freshly baked.
that's true.
Wow.
Yep.
There we go.
All right.
Happy
Can I
birthday.
do anything else for you? Anything else that you might need?
No, I believe this is all. It was a
Okay.
pleasure doing business with you.
Thank you. Thank
Do
you.
you have any rope?
Oh, rope. Yes. And she kind of points back, and she's like,
Oh, yeah.
we keep that in stock for the local farm hands and things. We've got 50, I think 50 foot of hempen rope, and I think we have just 50 foot just kind of regular, not hempen rope, cotton rope. If you'd like to take a look.
I'm looking to replace the rope that we used in the dam.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, and so you kind of go over and check over, and there are probably 3 kind of curls of rope there that you see, and there's one that looks like it's really old and has that kind of frayed nature, but there's 2 that look like they're in pretty good shape.
I will take one of them.
All right, so you go.
I'll
up
take
and-
the other.
Okay, so you both get there, and let me just check pricing really quick. So yeah, she pulls out. She's like, that will be for both. Is 1 gold, 5 silver. So if you want to split it, I don't. It's 7.5 silver each.
I can buy it. I got it.
Okay.
I give her the money.
All right. 1 gold, 5 silver.
Cool.
Any kind of like animal feeding crumb bag or something like that, morsel bag.
Yes. Yeah. There's. She kind of points over. There's. We have feed bags. Like, are you looking for the type that you would put on like a horse, or something to just hold feed that you're going to feed to chickens or something?
Yeah, it's something you can hold and just sprinkle out.
Well, the feed bags are specific for horses or mules, and she kind of points, and she said we have these, and there's a set. There's what look like small little burlap sacks, various sizes. There's larger ones that maybe you could put like 5 or 6 pounds in, up down to a kind of a smaller, maybe 1 pound size bag. And we sell dry goods. I mean, this is the name of the location. We sell dry goods if you'd like to fill it up. We've got barley, and we have dry corn for feed if you need to actually buy some feed.
Yeah, definitely. The 1 pound and dry corn.
1 pound of corn, okay. And so she goes over, and there's a barrel. She lifts the top off, and this kind of like dust rises out of it from the corn, and she scoops out into one of the sacks and then kind of ties it closed. She says, for 1 pound of corn and the sack, that will be 3 silver. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Thank you. This has been a very good morning. It was quiet until you all walked in, and you're a motley crew. It's very nice.
Do you know where the mayor is?
Oh yes. If you leave the store and if you take a left, the third house on the right is the mayor's house, and right next to that you'll see it's a slightly larger building that just looks like a house, which is our town hall, but it does have 2 distinct like kind of columns in the front that hold the porch up. So
Okay, bye. I leave
bye.
for that.
Yes, thank you for
No social skills at all.
if you like the buns, spread the word. we're gonna the bakery is going to take off, so let me know.
As I'm literally walking out the door, I turn around and go, okay, and I leave.
All right. So you all kind of walk out, and Mar,
Yeah.
Mars a good 10 feet ahead of all of you as you're heading
We
out.
just tell the shopkeep we are working on her social skills. Thank you for your help.
She seems very, very nice. Thank you for coming. Thank you. And she goes back to, you see, she like reaches out and as you're she's like slapping dough onto a counter in the back, and she just starts like kneading it like really aggressively as you're leaving. And
I'm gonna be nibbling on my bun, eating my bun while I.
okay, it's
Follow
delicious,
more.
and it's coated in what kind of tastes like a molasses, like a caramel, like almost like she made a caramel out of molasses rather than a caramel out of like sugar.
And I did pass them out to everyone else as well. It's like I'm not just eating 5 buns by myself. I got-
How does it scale for Kaimana? Is it like the size of his head?
Thank you.
Yeah, so they're probably about this big for Abel. So for Kaimana, you know, I mean it's like a solid loaf of bread for Kaimana.
It's kind of like you've seen those giant coffee cups that hold like
Yeah.
20 ounces.
Mhm.
I'm just seeing like Kaimana look up at Abel like, thank you.
All right, so Mara, as you're ahead of everybody else, you count the doors and you get 3 down, and then you immediately see a building. It's very much like every other building. It's just slightly larger, and it has 2 distinct kind of wooden columns, but they've been stained kind of this darker stain, and they stand out against the general kind of whitewash of the house. And it does have a sign, although it's a little kind of faded out, that just says Town Hall.
Okay, I'll wait for the rest of the group.
And everybody eventually catches up. And you guys just see Mars standing in the road, just sitting there, like she's found the spot for you.
Found it.
Have you knocked on the door yet?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I will do the honors. I'll just knock on the door.
So you knock, and you hear from inside, come on in.
I'll hold the door open for everyone to come in.
Okay, so you open and you head in, and it's a small chamber.
I can just picture the mayor seeing Kamana, followed by Soros, a one-eyed walking rat, a dragonborn, Marlowe, who's thrilled to be there.
Yeah, I would say roll a history check, but literally Soros would have no clue
Yeah.
about this world, about this area. But so you walk in, and the only person who gets a weird look from the mayor as you're kind of walking in is Abel, and then
So much hate in my direction.
Wash. And like when he's looking at Abel, it's more like the trinkets and the flashy elements that he's kind of like looking up and down. And then Wash as he gives it kind of a look, and he says, well, thanks for what can I do for you? You didn't have to knock. It's the town hall. You always welcome, but I don't think you guys are from around here.
We're in the Bible Belt, guys. This is what
We're in the belt buckle of the Bible Belt.
It's a Bible belt.
That was out of character.
No.
I guess Abel will say, we are here to discuss your problems with missing items and the dragon people that have been plaguing your town.
Oh, are y'all the group from Broadfield, the Adventurers Guild?
Yes, we are. And then I point to Wash.
Oh, I'm Ticket Takers Club, sir.
Oh, well, I was expecting the Adventurers Guild.
We are the Adventurers Guild,
Oh, okay, but you're
but our
calling
group
yourself.
has a name.
Oh, okay.
Because
so
there
you're
will be other members of the Adventurers Guild eventually. So to distinguish one group of adventurers from another group of adventurers, we are the Ticket Takers Club.
Well, that makes
Precise.
sense, I guess. That does make sense. Okay, so y'all are the Ticket Takers Club, and you're from the Adventurers Guild. Okay, yes. Well, so it's been a little while. I expected somebody a little bit or sooner than this, but thanks for joining, for coming and answering the call. We are still experiencing some of the problems that we wrote about.
Sorry, we are late. We stopped for bread.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did you stop at the new bakery?
We did
I swear, Menorah over there, she is gonna make us famous with those Northwick buns, as she calls them.
They're good.
They are very delicious.
They are delicious. It's got molasses in it. As a note, I personally know this person who is this person. Like, I grew up with this person. so-
I'm getting that feeling, Josh.
Yeah.
I was like, Josh knows them.
It's molasses. It's delicious. What can I do for you? I mean, like, can I help you? Like, do you need any more information? How to do? Like, what you need to do, or where you need to go, who you need to talk to?
Yes.
Is there a centralized area that we should begin our investigation in, or?
Well, the most recent raid actually involved Gideon. That's Menora's husband. You might have heard. I don't know if you talked to Menora, but she does like to mention that her husband was injured, and so he was the most recent victim. That was a couple days ago, but you are more than welcome to go speak with him. Menora could probably give you some information as well. I'm sure that Gideon talks all about it. You get a man injured and laid up, and all he'd be happy to do is talk about how he feels about things. So, way, Gideon, their house is on the other end of town. If you just keep on the main road, right before you get to where there's no more town, you'll see kind of a little sky blue house. They've painted it all pretty. That's where they live.
Okay.
And what is the husband's name?
Oh, sorry, his name is Gideon.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
They
It's
live at the edge of town.
you'll pass the temple on your way, and then you'll go on, and it's just a couple doors down past the temple.
Yes. A temple. Who is the temple to?
Well, the 8, of course. It's we have a local way of why that's where they're all set up, but of course it's referencing all the 8. Even though, like, we tend to be more in the realm of Tanatsa and Suvanar here, we still honor all 8. So
Yes. That makes sense.
We like all kinds here.
I feel like all kinds.
I believe we will make our way to Gideon to see what stories he has to tell.
All right.
Is
And
there anything else you can tell us?
Oh, yeah.
Besides, is he the only person to have been attacked? Is there a pattern to these attacks?
he is the only one that was actually present or saw what happened. Now, there have been a series of attacks in the last 3 or 4 weeks or so, but for the most part, what it looked like was, workers would go out to the fields and they would come home and discover their house had been broken into. Which is mysterious because we kind of like to keep an eye out on what's happening around town. So whoever did this was managed to kind of sneak in under the watchful gaze of people, but they would discover things missing. Or in the middle of the night, people would wake up and they'd hear like rummaging in their attics or things. But then when they went to go check, like the attic window was busted out, but things were missing. But Gideon happened to be home in the middle of the day when he should have been out working. I think he got drunk the night before, and he was home and he heard a rustling in one of his back rooms. And when he went in there, he said that these dragons, or these dragon people, kind of just freaked out and attacked him. They broke his leg, and then they ran out the front door and tore off down the street with, he said, almost all their fine possessions, most of their china and some of their like fine silver that their mother got them or his mother got them when they got married.
Did anyone else in town see these dragon people when they fled Gideon's home?
No, like I said, Gideon's house is on the edge of town, right on the edge. And so they went out his front door and off into over the hills, further kind of northwestern area of town. There's some hills and things back that way, and there's some caves and stuff that way. So that might be where they're laid up.
Okay. And I'm sorry, man, what was your name?
Oh, Thomas Malley.
That's the name of the cat from Aristocats, and I can't get over it.
Really?
Cat.
Is it-
He's the alley cat.
Where it's at.
I do not remember that.
I
Thomas
vividly remember it.
Yes.
Oh,
Thomas Malley.
Thomas Malley, not O'Malley. Oh, hi, Sully.
Dog break.
She heard me talking about the Aristocats. She was like, no.
I know.
No
What
more of
about all
that.
dogs go to heaven, Grace?
She was wagging her tail earlier. It was the only thing I could see. So I was like, it's like Josh is wagging his tail.
I was gonna say, like, it looks like Josh is very happy about this campaign.
Just wagging his tail.
I love the occasional toy squeak from Sully.
I think she just licked me 100 times, so she's got her for the day. All right. That's about all the information I know. I would say you could probably head northwest into the hills. Like I said, there's some caves in that direction, like some sunken areas and some sinkholes and some caves and things. And if I was some dragon people, that's probably where I'd hide out. Or you can go talk to Gideon. He might be able to help you. I said Menorah probably knows too.
We appreciate your assistance. We will head that way now.
All right, thank you. I'll be waiting here. I'll go ahead and draft up your writ commendation in case y'all are successful, and I'll get the kind of the award money there.
We will be successful.
Well, I hope so. That's what we're hoping to pay you for.
Okay.
All right. Well, as soon as we all leave, Kaimon is just kind of like, this doesn't add up.
What do you mean, my little friend?
Why would they steal possessions from people's houses in the middle of the day? Surely you should wait till night.
I guess they're timing it when people are working and they think people will be out of the house. Gideon was the only one who saw him and they're going in the day. It's probably because the workers are all back home at night. And they don't want to risk being caught. Maybe they're not that good at what they do.
Gideon was the only one who saw them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one person's word.
I mean, do we want to go rough up Gideon, see if he's the real criminal? Is that what you're suggesting?
I think maybe we should go in the woods. And if we're not immediately successful, we wait here in town and try to catch them.
I believe we should talk to Gideon first. Maybe we can see if we believe his version of events.
Yeah, maybe the man broke his own leg. Who knows?
Or it could be something smaller than a dragon person and being embarrassed about being beaten by them made up this part of the tale.
This is true. Let's see how believable Gideon's story is first.
All right. So you guys head, following the mayor's kind of guidelines or directions, you head further kind of through town. You do pass on the left the temple, which is very, very, it's a stone structure, one of the few stone structures in town. And it has kind of a large circular stained glass window in the front that has a very particular design to the stained glass. But you do pass by that, and then a couple doors down, you see the sky blue house that the mayor said was Gideon and Menorah's.
While we're passing by the temple, Abel will maybe take a little trinket, maybe like a nail or something he has in his pocket, and he'll use his magical tinkering ability, and he'll make like a static image of the temple, just so he can look at it. You know, he's very interested with the architecture and the stained glass.
And from your perspective, Abel, I mean, you guys have temples to the 8 in Nuevia as well, but the symbolism in the stained glass window is very different than the symbolism in Nuevia. The Nuevians tend to focus on like the actual like elements of each of the gods, and so a lot of their symbolism would be flames and water and earth, and this is very simple, like triangles and boxes of multiple colors that when kind of put together form almost like not a pentagram, but a multi-tiered system of multicolored triangles and squares and diamonds and things, and more geometric.
Okay, I'll just do that really quick, and it'll be something I can look at and tinker with later, think about later while we're resting.
All right.
In my little pocket.
So then, a couple doors down, you guys arrive at the sky blue house of that the mayor said was Gideon at Menorah's.
We'll approach the door and knock.
You knock, and you hear from inside, who is it? I can't come to the door right now.
We are the ticket takers. We are here to investigate the attack that occurred recently in your home.
Well, who sent you?
The mayor himself has sent us. He has asked for our assistance.
Oh, you're the crew that they're trying to hire to fix the problem.
That is absolutely right. May we let ourselves in, sir?
Yeah. Well, the door's locked.
Can I
my
try?
wife, she tries to keep me safe, I guess, by locking the door. But my leg is broken. I can't get to it.
This should not be a problem. Can I try to pick the lock? I have these.
Okay. You can pick the lock.
I have proficiency with these.
Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check.
The sleight of hand.
Hey, honey.
Efficiency. Do I
Work
have?
was good today. How was your day? Well, some people broke into the house again.
Yeah. And like as you guys are kind of waiting for them to do this, like Mar, you kind of looking out. You're always keeping an eye on the sky anyway. And you do see kind of off in the distance what look to maybe be storm clouds starting to roll in this direction.
Okay. When I roll it, do I add my proficiency bonus? If I have proficiency with these tools, how does this work?
It's your intelligence modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so that was 7, 12.
12. Okay, so as you're going to pick the lock, you're fumbling with the tumblers and you're trying to getting the pieces in there, and you hear like click click, and then right as the last kind of click falls into place and the door click opens, you hear coming from inside, if you check under the front mat, I think she could right there. And then the door opens and he's like, well, I guess you found it. And when you open the door, like there's a kind of a front sitting area, and you see laid up this kind of early half elvish looking fellow with kind of darker complected skin, a larger bushier beard, which is weird on a half elven face. They're typically less beardy, and he's not wearing a shirt, and he's kind of coarse hair on his chest, and he's laid back, and his leg is propped up on kind of a stool next to him, and he's just kind of sitting there with a flagon of breakfast beer or something like right there. He's like, well, yes, well, if y'all are here to help fix this problem, I'm gonna help any way I can. I told Thomas everything I knew, but if he sent you this way, I guess he thinks that I can be of some assistance.
Who has really high insight? Like that would be.
I got high insight.
Okay. Maybe.
If you could you kind of walk us through what happened, what you saw, as if it show us as if it was happening now.
Right, he takes a kind of a drink and burps a little bit. Well, I was not feeling well. I had come down with like a stomach bug or something, and so I was taking the morning off from the field work. And I didn't really feel like, with the way my stomach was feeling, I shouldn't go out shoveling shit and all that, So I was going to take the morning off and kind of hope to feel better. And then after lunch, head back out to the fields and oversee things. But while I was in the bathroom, I was relieving myself. I start to hear something coming from kind of the back storage room. There's only like 4 rooms in the house. And so it's kind of close to the bathroom, and I start to hear like this little shuffling sound. Now, at first I thought, damn it, we got them rats again, you know, and the rats are here. And no offense, but they're trying, you know, they're stealing our food. They're in the larder again. We had problems with rats like 2 months ago, and I thought I got them all. But so, well, I finished my business and cleaned myself up, and I you know, made my way back to the back room, and the door was closed, and I didn't remember closing the door. I thought I left the door open, but you know, maybe you know, the wife closed it before she went off to the store. But I put my ear up to it and I listened real close, and it sounded, you know, the scurrying sound, and then I heard like voices, but they weren't speaking, you know, normal. They were speaking like it sounded like, I don't know, not like dogs, but you know, like something, and loud, and they kind of chittering at each other. And then so I went back into the room and I grabbed, and he kind of motions next to him. He's like propping himself up with what looks like the busted remnants of what maybe used to be an axe handle. And he said, you know, I grabbed, you know, this post here, and I went back and I laid it, and then I threw the door open and I went to go attack, and there were 4 of these dragon people in this room, and they saw me and they started screaming and, you know, making these really loud sounds, and I swung at one and clocked him real good across the face. But then the other 3 got all up on me, and they got me and they broke my leg with some kind of hammer, and then they ran over me, like ran across my body and out the front door.
How large were these dragon people?
What's that?
How large were these dragon people?
Oh, I'm like, I don't know, yay high. Like he kind of makes like a half his size motion, like 3, maybe 2.5, 3 feet.
Dragon
Not
people.
as big as not as big as you. And he points to Wash. They didn't look like you though, but they were definitely dragon people.
Oh, because all dragon people are supposed to look alike.
I was waiting for it. Like,
Well, there are not a lot of dragonborn around these parts. But I don't know. I mean, I guess they were like halfling dragonborns. But they
Has anyone ever seen a
different shape in the
dragon?
face. A little different. Their faces were a little shaped different, and they were green.
They were green.
This
Do
is
I-
sounding strongly, suspiciously similar to things we have run across before, correct?
So like the way he's describing it is like dragony, you can probably assume that he mean like scaly. Are you thinking like the gnolls that you've run into before?
Yeah, it basically is this a different portion of the Gnoll army?
No, like I mean, you can ask, like based on his description, it doesn't sound like gnolls, because the gnolls that you encountered were much larger, furry,
Okay.
kind of doggish, and he's very much describing them in a like by saying dragon, since you probably wouldn't describe something that was furry as a dragonish.
Okay. I'm going to ask Mr. Gideon. Mr. Gideon, you can be completely honest with us. We are here to help.
Well, I've been completely honest with you.
I understand. Where
if
do you-
it's all right if you got your ass kicked by an iguana, you can tell us.
They might have been small, but there was 4 of them, and so you know.
But were you perhaps drunk when you woke up that morning to relieve yourself?
He's in the middle of like finishing another drink, and he's like, well, no, of course. I mean, I had a few drinks the night before, but of course I was not drunk that early in the morning. That is ridiculous."
I see. Abel will kind of look at Kaimana and see if like he, you know,
Yeah, I'll make a roll on that.
I don't think this one needs a roll, gang.
yeah.
He's lying.
Hey, gang.
We don't know.
Okay.
That is a 14.
I like when the dice tell the story for me because I rolled a nat 1 on deception. So
You were strong.
not only is he lying about not having been drunk the day it happened, the man is drunk now.
Okay.
Like you get very clear, like as you're looking at him and trying to get a sense, you get that clear stench of alcohol in his breath. Like he's been drinking already this morning.
Kaiman is just going to look at you and go,
He's not really paying attention.
Say, we understand. I am curious.
When they ran out of the house, did you see which way they went besides out of town?
Well, as far as, I mean, my leg was broken, so I didn't see too much, but when I was pulling myself up, I could see them just heading straight. And if you go out my door and head straight out of town, you're heading, kind of northwesterly, and that avoids a lot of the fields. Most of the fields are kind of to the west or the east of town, and all of our livestock are kept on the south end of town. The northwesterly space is not really good for farming or for housing animals because there's so many sinkholes and cave systems. The last time we put any sheep in that area, we lost a few that fell into a sinkhole, so we've moved them all. So if I was trying to stay unnoticed, that's the direction I would go.
Abel will ask, would you mind if we looked at the area where they came into the home, the room that they attacked you in?
Yeah. Now, Menorah, she boarded up the window back there. She's pretty handy with a hammer. But you're more than welcome to kind of look through. It's just an old storage space in the back.
What did they take?
Well, Menorah said they took her china, which her grandmother had handed down through the family. And there was a really nice set of spoons, silver spoons, that my mother gave to us when we got married. And they took my wedding ring.
Oh, no.
that is unfortunate.
Yeah, I would like
How
to
did they get it off your hand?
Well, somehow in the hustle and the tussle, it must have come off. It never quite fit right. And in the morning, like I'm not quite as, I guess my hand's not quite as swollen up, and they were just able to grab it right off.
Mr. Gideon, do you have any people that perhaps you owe money to, any debt that you have unpaid, or perhaps someone that you recently angered?
Well, no, we're doing pretty well. If you go check out the general store, we're expanding it and building in a bakery. So we're doing pretty well as far as money is concerned. I'm not in debt with anybody, and I haven't pissed anybody off recently. And Menorah is the kindest woman on earth, and I don't think she's made any enemies.
Okay, I simply had to ask. Ma, did you think we should perhaps do some investigation in this storeroom?
No, they took the stuff.
Maybe they're like claw marks somewhere that what kind of creature this is.
There's also probably claws on a creature somewhere out there that we could find. But if you want to look around, you can.
If you feel it is a waste of time, then we can simply go after.
No, I didn't say that. So, if you want to look around.
No, we can go look. I do not believe it is that necessary. It was just my curiosity.
I'll go look.
Okay.
And I'm looking also to see if there are any rats around.
Okay, so go ahead and you head back to the store area. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
If I join him and drop some dry corn, will that give advantage on finding rats?
Sure, absolutely.
Rat
Okay,
advantage.
I
I'm
just
gonna do
bought
that.
this bag. I'm going to use it.
So roll with advantage?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, that's much better. That's a 16.
16. Okay, so when you get back there, it's the light's a little dim, but you have dark vision, so you're okay. There was a space where there was a window, but it has since been boarded up, and any glass or anything that was broken out has been swept up and cleaned. It does look like the space has been reorganized and cleaned up since whatever occurred. Looking at the ground, there are a few kind of scratch or scuff marks. they look like claws did dig into spaces in the ground. Small,
I knew it.
sharp claws. A few like gouges like that. There in the corner, like as you're kind of looking down towards the bottom, there's a hole in the wall where you imagine maybe rats did once come in here, but any rats or get the sense that rats, you don't see like recent evidence of rats in the room.
Rats. Sorry, I had-
Da-da-da.
All right, so back out to the group.
I want to put my claws against the compare them to the claws that are on the ground.
Okay, they're much smaller than yours, like half the size.
I guess Abel will ask the group: has anyone ever heard of a halfling dragon?
Can I make a nature roll?
Yeah,
Can
sure.
I make a roll?
Yeah, nature history.
I would not know, so I'm not even trying.
Ooh.
No either. Oh, +3 to nature.
Rob knows, but my character doesn't.
No.
I got a 19.
19.
I also got a 19.
Did you roll history or nature, Mark?
It's the same. I'll say history.
So for nature, Kaimana, the description sounds vaguely like you didn't get a lot of detail about what they look like beyond the guy seems to associate them with dragons, and they were small, 2.5, 3 feet. There is on your island a colony of bluish creatures that are scaly in nature, and they associate themselves a lot with dragons. And in your culture or whatever, they specifically worship Naginda, who is the dragon that was born from Suvanar. And they're in your language they have a different name, but they're typically known as kobolds. And Mar, like a lot of that rings true for what you know as well, is that you haven't heard of kobolds in the Riverlands area. You do know that there's a nest of kobolds that live in the Deepwood that specifically were there as kind of the caretakers of Dimwala's domain, and they were greenish in color.
Okay. I pass that along to the group.
I almost imagine it like Mar and Kaimon just like turning and looking at each other.
And we
Like-
both just share the same look of like.
It's like Road to El Dorado. It's just like kobolds.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
So what are you guys doing?
I think we
Going
should
kobold hunting.
head
Yeah.
straight to this.
So you've got a general direction that they said to walk, kind of northwesterly. So whoever's leading your expedition and
Who has the best survival? Marlo?
I can do it.
All right.
Jesus.
I think. Let's see. I got a plus.
Gaimanis is probably better.
I got a +6, so maybe I.
It
should
is
do
better.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's.
Well, I was thinking warrior who lived in the woods or druid. One of the
I'm gonna
two is
assist.
going to be.
I'll assist Kaimana.
Okay, so
Okay,
go ahead and
cool.
roll with advantage. I'm on a survival.
Right. Okay, so that is a 23.
23. So immediately, like, Saurus brings you back to the room and shows you the claw marks in the wood, and you immediately kind of like hone in on them, and then you start to notice and spot more claw marks in the hallway and more claw marks in the main room, and then you get out on the front porch and you can see claw marks on the porch heading that direction. You start checking in the road and there's nothing. This is really dusty space and it's probably been shaped up, but you keep kind of going out, and there's a few spots where it looks like there had previously been mud, and there's some footprints in the mud, and as you're examining it, you're like, you see kind of like the indentions of the little claws at the end of the feet, and you're like, these are the claws that made this mark. And you start finding those, and you start tracing it in that northwestern direction, and you guys are leaving out of town, and every little bit you find another piece of evidence, that kind of leads you in that direction. For about 10 or 15 minutes as you're heading out, you do get to a point where you come up on a hill, and around that point you start to hear cracklings of thunder off in the distance. That rainstorm that Mar saw is getting much closer, and kind of the smell of rain is starting to permeate the area. But you guys get up to the top of the hill, and looking over and down, you see there's a kind of a rising mound with a cave entrance, and you do see it. It's hard to tell what it is at this distance, but there are what look to be a few figures standing outside the cave entrance.
Found it.
There may be the possibility we can do this without fighting, hopefully. If they like dragons and respect dragons, then our esteemed bard, Washbjord, may be able to convince them through his authority as a dragon.
Oh, definitely. Let me get ready.
All right, so you guys are up on top of this kind of hill, and then it goes down probably 150 feet or so to the base of the hill, and then it kind of, before it rises up, it's almost like the second hill was kind of carved out, and the cave is in like a second hill that was rising there. So these figures are maybe 250 feet away, so it's kind of hard to tell what they are from this distance.
Wash, would it help you if you were riding a massive lizard?
It always does. That's an entrance.
I'd
We're
pay good money to see that.
we're closer than an hour away, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's like it's maybe 300 feet.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Just poof, shape
But-
change, giant lizard.
All right, and then the moment you do that, you kind of nope, you don't. So there's these two figures, and if they were humanoid size, like bigger than you would probably be able to see more clearly what they are, but they are very small, and so from this distance it's hard to tell. But you pop into your giant lizard form, and they don't make any motion. They don't seem to have noticed that this happened.
Okay. Here we go.
They rolled a 1 on perception, so
Oh no.
Good for them.
I picture them being like the guards in Monty Python and the Holy, and when they're watching Lancelot just keep running over the hill and just like
Just eating an apple or whatever the kobold equivalent is.
Should the rest of us hang back, or would we distract your performance, Wash, if we were there?
What I can do, I can distract them or try to distract them with enthrall, and sneak past them while they're focused on us.
What do you all think? What is the best plan?
let Wash start talking and wing it from there.
Okay.
Like every performance. Let's go.
I'm gonna try to be close by in case stuff
Yes,
goes
that's
wrong.
okay.
Yes. That's what I was
So
curious.
I'll try to like stealth, so I'm not like right up on him, but I'm like close enough distance away that I can like come in pretty fast if like,
Okay.
I need to.
So the area where you're in right now, like you guys are at the top of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at around, it might be difficult to hide behind anything. So roll a perception check to see if you can find anything that you'd be able to behind.
I want to do the same.
20, not natural.
So heading straight from where you are down to the cave,
Mm-hmm.
if you walked that direction, you'd be out in the open, and if they're more perceptive, they would definitely pick up on it.
Okay.
But you do notice that if you kind of curve around behind the hill, towards the base on the opposite side, there is a copse of small kind of scraggly bushes and trees.
Mhm.
So you can kind of curve around the hill and hit that, and that would put you maybe 50 or 60 feet away from the entrance without them being able to see.
I will do that then.
Okay, so roll a stealth check, and then if you're joining her, stealth check.
Yeah, I'll go with Mar as well. Marlowe.
Yeah.
Anybody going with Mar, roll stealth.
18.
18.
A
Okay.
14.
12.
12. Okay. You guys are not.
I'm white. Dressed in a white suit and a white coat.
This is really fun looking at you right now, Rob, that you just said that.
All right, and then you two are not trying to stealth. You're just. So what are Wash? Wash, what are you doing?
Okay, so before they leave, who has the lowest hit points between you three?
I have 24.
I'm 32.
Oh, not her.
I have 23.
All right, I want to pat Source on the back and give him some heroism, which is +4 temporary hit points, and you're immune to being afraid. And I just want to say, Godspeed in the darkness, white rat.
That's
Oh boy.
+4 hit points and what? What's the other thing of heroism?
You don't get afraid.
Yeah, immunity to fear.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Break legs.
Okay, so the three break off and kind of head back down the hill, and then around towards that copse of trees, and then Wash and Kaimana. What are you all up to?
I mean, you're hopping on, right, Wash?
I mean, if that's okay.
I mean, I can't communicate right now, so that was like the plan before Kaimana's shape changed.
Okay, yes.
And gonna do like a very graceful strut as far as a lizard can manage, like those horses that do like the stiff leg lifts, you know.
So
You're prancing. You're a prancing lizard.
Yeah. The prancing lizard.
So roll a performance check as the lizard.
Okay. I actually got decent performance because my charisma's not totally bad.
As the lizard.
Using
Oh,
the lizard
right.
stats.
Well, no, you keep charisma, right?
Yeah, you keep charisma.
So it's not like polymorph. So yeah, so you're rolling it as Kaimana.
That is a 15.
15. Okay, so if you three were around to see it, you would see coming over the top of this hill, like this, like it's almost like the elephant, like when Abu gets turned into the elephant in for the Prince Ali moment. It's almost like that, but it's kind of a little slightly out of like kind of step a little bit. But this lizard is just prancing out, and then riding on his back is Wash, heading down this hill towards this cave entrance.
Cave blowing in the wind.
Yes.
His new cape just kind of glowing behind him with the glistening of the gold brocade. And just as you guys are kind of clearing over the hill behind you, flash of lightning, and then boom, explosion of thunder kind of rolling through the valley, and then the wind starts to pick up and your cape kind of flies to the side, Wash, and then rain starts to fall kind of diagonally down, and at that moment you see the two figures that were kind of at the side of the cave start to move, and they're kind of looking around, and you hear, "Hey, no further! Stop it! Stop it!"
Excuse me?
And they're speaking in common, so you can understand them. And you speak Draconic anyways, even if they were speaking Draconic. Yeah. Who goes there? Who are you? And one of them's just shouting at you, and he's holding like a spear.
Like, put your spear down. Do you not know who I...
You froze at the exact perfect moment.
Screen cap that. Screen
That's
cap
really
that.
good. Oh boy.
This is like Hold on, what
Okay.
did you say? Because you froze.
No, you
froze.
froze.
I froze.
Yeah. So.
It's like, do you not know?
Yeah. You
It was
said.
bad.
Oh, and then Ben froze again. Oh no. And still like just prancing, little Kaimana still prancing. They don't seem to be moved by you challenging them on who you are. They don't seem like, no, oh, yeah, you don't know who you are.
Why is it doing this? That's enthrall.
Okay, so
Get some saving throw of 14.
so you're enthralling. Wisdom
Mhm.
saving throw, natural 20. So, so that's for the one you're talking to. Can you target more than one person with enthrall, or is it just one?
Oh, creatures. So more than one.
Does it say the number?
No, it just says creatures of your choice that you can see within range and that can hear you.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
and what's the saving throw?
14.
13. Okay, so the one you're talking to, who's kind of challenging you, not affected. The one next to him is just like, oh my God. And he's paying a lot of attention to you, but the other one's like, hey, get back in place. What are you doing? And he's just
So that-
still pointing a spear at you.
To that one, I'm just gonna put my hand up and be like, clearly, this one is the more regal of the two of you. I shall speak of him.
What? No, I'm in charge. You gotta talk to me.
You're in charge.
Yes.
Who's the dragon here? Who?
What? You're not a dragon.
I want to like pat Kaimana on the side of his head, and hopefully he'll rear back with me.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I want to rear back and do my lightning breath.
Okay.
And
Who's not a dragon?
Kamana's gonna bellow as best he can.
Okay. This requires a performance check from the both of you.
Okay.
See how well we can get this theatrical moment staged.
Oh wow, that's a 22.
It's
And
like you slow motion it, even though you don't have to. You're like able to kind of slow motion the rear and the bellowing sound bursting out. What's your persuasion there, Wash?
20.
It was over 20. Yeah, and so it's just like this epic like explosion of this beam of lightning shooting out, and then immediately matched by a lightning bolt somewhere further off in the distance, and then thunder exploding around you. Okay, so he immediately drops the spear and runs inside the cave. The other one is just like, excellent.
Thank you.
At that moment, the Saurus, you hear behind you, because I think your passive perception would be enough to pick up on it. You hear the flapping of wings getting closer behind you. When you turn to look, there are two of these figures. The two that were only about 50 feet away that they're watching this whole thing. They don't have wings. But when you turn and look, there are two of them behind you who do. And so I need Saurus, Mar, and Abel to roll initiative.
Oh my God.
Really?
Hey Ben.
Yeah.
It's tough
And
to be a god, isn't it?
Ray, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
go ahead,
easier if you have a god like Steed.
Lord. That was epic. And then Wash and Kaimana, if you'll also roll initiative, I'll get you on there too whenever we get you brought in. So Mar, what did you roll?
23.
23. Okay. Abel,
16.
16. Saurus,
7.
oh God, 7. Okay, Kaimana.
And that was with a +4 bonus.
I got a
dexterity.
13.
13. Okay, and then Wash.
7.
7. Okay, I rolled for the winged guys. Let me get the other ones in
Since
here.
I'm going to be last, I'm going to refresh my drink.
What we'll go ahead and do is before we head into our we can probably cover this combat and then we'll take our 10-minute break right after the combat before you guys head into the cave if that's what you decide to do. But we can go ahead and cover this, and we won't do a map. It'll just be for this one, just kind of theater of the mind. So as Saurus kind of turns and he is able to kind of say, look out, right as these creatures are diving in, and what you see immediately is something similar to the creatures that you saw closer by, but these have wings, and they're these leathery, kind of larger, almost like bat-like wings, greenish in color, same as the scales on them, and they're diving in at you. And the first one is actually, so Abel, you see this coming, you see these two coming, and you get to head first.
Oh, I thought I was second. Okay.
No, based on your initiative, you're like Mars' initiative was higher. Oh, Mars there too. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. So Mars, you see this happening, and you get to come first. You get to go first.
Okay. How far away are they?
So they're diving kind of from behind you and above. Right now, they're probably still 30 feet, 40 feet away, like up in the air.
Okay. Then I will move probably like 20 feet closer, and I will hold my action to attack whoever gets in melee range with me first.
All right, so you're holding your action. Are you activating your right, or are you keeping that?
I will. Oh no, I'm gonna. Is this a bonus action? I always forget it was a bonus action. Yes, it is a bonus action. So I will Blood Curse of the Marks on no, they're too far away. I can't do that. Never mind. Then I'll Crimson Rite it, and do the lightning.
Go ahead and roll your Hemocraft die, and
roll my injury for myself. 2 points of damage.
2 points. All right, so you activate your special ring from your order,
mm-hmm.
the stab of blood, but then you feel that blood kind of empowering you, and the lightning crackles up the side of your rapier.
Yeah.
Right? Are you doing the rapier or the short sword?
Doing the rapier.
All right, so there you go, holding your action, which takes us to Abel.
Okay. Can I use my... You said they're about, 40 feet away flying towards us? Or?
Yeah, flying 35, 40 feet away, kind of diving up in the air. And they're diving, they seem to be diving in your direction as they're...
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to take an action to pull out my Eldritch Cannon, the Force Ballista, which is my little mechanical elephant guy. And I'm going to mount him on my wrist, and I'm going to aim it up at one of the flying, what are they, kobolds?
Yeah, based on what people say, they're winged kobolds.
Okay.
Not much like kobolds. Kobolds.
One of them down.
All right, so go ahead and roll for attack.
Okay. Well, that's a natural 1 + 6, so...
Nope. Natural one, you miss. So you go to fire, and you just learned how to do this, and you were preparing your ballista, and as you go to fire, it just click, nothing happens, and you have to take a moment to check the wiring and the arcane elements of it, and crap, you forgot to click this piece into place, and you do, and then you hear the as it rears back its ears, but you don't have a chance to fire again in this round.
Yes.
Good.
I'm still working out the kinks.
You want to move at all, or are you staying where you're put?
Is there anything near me where I can kind of take cover, or?
Yeah, so you guys were hiding behind some bushes and a couple stones and a tree. You could get on the other side of it, but that would be the ones on the cave would then be more likely to see you at that point.
No, I'll just hold my position then.
Okay, so you stay where you are. All right, good. Next up, At this point, Kaimana, with your passive perception, you hear this sounds happening over where you are. There's the one kobold who's still there, enthralled by Wash's presence, and then you hear kind of commotion happening 50 or 60 feet away from you.
I'm sure it's fine.
Okay, so you're just perfect. All right. Anything else you want to do other than?
I am gonna kind of look up at Wash with like one eye, just like.
Okay. So
Like, what do you want to do, big guy?
All right. All right. So that takes us to the one kobold who ran inside. Does not reappear, and so his turn kind of goes by. The second kobold just kind of like he's just right there. He gets like right underneath the lizard, and he's just like, "Yes, let me come with you. Take me with you." And like he's just like, he spends his turn praising you, Wash. And then so that's his turn, and then the three winged kobolds that are back where you guys are. One is
Three?
Oh, sorry, two. The one is gonna dive down and go for Mar with the threatening presence that she has. As soon as he gets within range, Mar, you can go ahead and strike.
Cool. That may not do it. That may not be good enough. Well, I would want to attack. 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
12 hits. Yep.
Cool.
So go ahead. and roll.
You love to see it.
You'll love to see it.
I rolled 2 1s though on both my dice, so that's really cool. Okay, so that's 6 regular damage and 1 point of lightning damage. It like
All right.
fizzles. It just kind of like static shocks her.
It's like one of those like, buzzer things that you put in your hand when you're like shaking something.
Yeah. And you're like, ow.
But
Oh, a joy buzzer.
that will do it. So it's like it's charging at you with this spear, and it's like coming at you like like really aggressively, and you just kind of sidestep and stab at it, and you pierce through it, and then you feel like the burst of lightning energy that just kind of shocks it, and then it slides off of your rapier and then just crumbles to the ground in a mess. It's out.
I call over my shoulder. Oh, these guys are really easy. Should be fine.
Sees this and pulls back up, and he flies a little bit over, and right as he gets over Abel's head, he drops a rock that he was holding. So he's going to drop a rock on you, Abel, which is a 16 to hit.
Yeah, AC.
All right, so you look up just in time to see a rock plummeting out of the sky, and it cracks you on the back of the head, and you start to see like spots in your eyes, and you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage from this rock crashing on you, and you're a little dazed and kind of shook by it.
For goodness sake.
But it uses the rest of its movement to head towards the cave. It keeps flying straight past you guys and is making its way in Wash and Kaimana's direction. Which takes us to Wash. You hear this commotion happening, and you turn and look, and there's a winged kobold heading your direction. Right now it's about 25 feet away from you.
Okay. I'm going to hit him. Actually, no.
I got this.
Okay. I'm going to summon Unseen Servant
Okay.
right next to us. And then I want to... are you within earshot, Source?
They're 60 feet away. I think the range on Bardic Inspiration is 60 feet, right?
Okay, so I'm going to talk to the little one while telling him, be like, the best thing about being a god is that you can inspire somebody to take a really good shot. A really good shot.
I can imagine the kobold just like,
All right. Now,
The kobold's like crying and like wiping away tears.
oh, I know. He's just like, it's like it's the foamy guy from Avatar, like. No. But this is the first time any of you have seen it. The moment that bardic energy leaves Wash's mouth, you feel that empowering energy kind of fill you, Saurus, which you've had before from him. But suddenly, like, it's almost like something rises up out of the dirt and flies circularly around you and slows down, and you see this kind of ethereal, spectral orb that's just kind of circling around you, and you get the sense that this is tied in some way to the inspiration that Wash just provided you.
Okay.
Okay, and it's a mote of, I think they get to choose what the mote does, right, Wash?
Mhm.
Okay. So you got a
And the
mote.
list should be in the chat.
Where I would have to open chat to see what those
Yeah,
are.
I'll pull it up. I got it right here.
Let's see if I can-
There's 3 different things it can do depending on what type of mote you decide to activate. But if you use it on an attack roll, it adds whatever you roll on the dice. It adds that damage to your attack.
I'm more interested in to hit.
Yeah. If you add it on an attack roll,
Mhm.
then so if you use it to hit, then it's a note of destruction, and it adds. They have to make a saving throw, and it does additional damage based on Wash's charisma, I think.
Okay.
Oh no! They roll a save based on Wash's spelled save DC, and then they take whatever damage, whatever you rolled on the bardic dice. They take that additional amount of damage.
Okay.
All right. So that's anything else you're doing there, Wash?
No, that's it for my turn.
All right. So that takes us to Saurus.
All right. So this thing has flown past us, and you mentioned
Yeah.
behind us were kind of the top of the hill and a rock or two. So I'm going to take off sprinting and jump off the rock and pancake this thing in midair to grapple it
Okay.
and plunge to the earth.
So there's a couple. There's enough stones for you to probably do that, and your jump distance is
I can use a key point, and I can go up to 20 feet.
20 feet will definitely do it if you want to spend a key point to make sure that happens
Yep.
without having to roll an acrobatics check or anything like that. So go ahead and roll a grapple check. Roll an athletics check.
Athletics. If only it was in alphabetical order. 14.
14, definitely. So you guys watch as Saurus nimbly dumps from kind of one smaller rock to a larger rock, and then leaps into the air with unnatural dexterity and grabs a hold of this kobold, and they start spinning through the air, and he spins the kobold down and lands with the kobold face into the dirt.
I'm not trying to kill it.
No, but he does suffer 3 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall, and you do not. I think you save from that because he cushions the fall for you, and he plows into the dirt, and you now have him grappled on the ground.
Be still, brother, lest you hurt yourself.
All right, he's wriggling and trying to fight back, but he has to try to break out. Mara, you just watch this happen, and so now 25, 30 feet away from you, Saurus comes out of the air and kind of crumbles onto the ground with this kobold, and he's got him in his arms, and the kobold's kind of trying to escape.
Just kind of look at that and just. Okay. Saurus, do you got that? Is that good?
We're
Good. Okay.
Yes, Marlo.
All right. I'll just walk over there and just kind of look at it. Look at what's happening.
All right, Abel.
Are there any other monsters to fight? That's
Roll a
all.
perception check.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you can use your action to check to see.
Does it mean that I'm proficient if I got a little dot next to it? Do I add the proficiency bonus?
It'll automatically do it if you roll on D&D Beyond. It'll automatically add it if you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that +2 is it adding it to it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how these things work. A
'Cause I
10.
think your wisdom's only like a 0, isn't it? Yeah. So you looking around, quick glance around.
The
You don't
shade.
Right.
Your intelligence is really high, but quick glance around, you don't see anything else. The one is still enthralled. How long does that last? And do they get to save from it each round? Wash.
If they would like to see anyone besides me, they have to do a wisdom savings throw, and it lasts as long as I'm talking to them.
Okay, so there were 3. That's the second round. Yeah, no, rolled a 2 and a 7. So I don't think that saves. So there's one that's still enthralled by Wash. One, you knew there were 2 there. You didn't see where the other one went, but it's not there anymore. There's the one dead behind you that Mar took out, and there's one that's grappled by Saurus. You don't see any others.
Okay. I guess I'll just walk over to where the other one is grappled.
Okay. So you and Mar are now there. With that in the idea, we kind of leave combat. Saurus, it does try to break out of your grapple, so go ahead and roll another athletics check against its acrobatics to try to escape from you.
19.
19, 16. So it almost kind of bursts out, and you feel its wings like stretching against your arms, but you grip and hold tight, and it's like trying to like snap back at you, and it's like, let me go, let me go, let me go. But you still haven't held.
Yeah. Be still, otherwise you might get hurt.
I'll hurt you. No, well, I'll hurt you.
Can I just like have my lightning still on my sword? So can I just like kind of point it at it? Like I'm not trying to like get up in it, like lest I shock Saurus or something, but just like to be like, all right, listen, like this is where we're at.
Roll an intimidation check.
I'm not good at this.
And so you can go ahead and roll a persuasion check as well with your attempt to comment.
It's a 14.
14, okay.
Persuasion 13.
13, okay. So it's kind of discordant between like calm down and then the threat. There is like a moment where it kind of tenses up. It did see what happened to its friend by that sword, and so it kind of does freeze up for a moment. It's like, no, you don't want to mess with us. You don't want to mess.
We want to talk. We don't want to mess. We want to talk.
We don't talk. Nope. We only talk to the one.
Well, he's right there, and I point at Wash.
That's not the one.
But it's the one that your one can talk to our one.
No, he doesn't look anything like the one.
Well, our one doesn't look anything. Your one doesn't look like anything like our one. They can still talk.
Our one's a dragon.
So's ours.
No,
Just a different kind.
Nope. We know what Dragonborn are. The other one is just still like, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
And Wash is like, thank you.
I want to can I wash your feet? Nope. Still. So this kobold is like trying to climb up on Kaimana's lizard form to like get closer to you. And the other one's just like,
never find.
Just you're gonna come after you guys you're gonna get killed.
Then you should be calm. If something bad's going to happen to us, you should be calm. Because it will happen.
Let me go. And he's just struggling. He's not actively fighting against you anymore. Like he's realized now. Yeah, he's realized now that he doesn't have the strength to break out of your grasp, and he's also surrounded. So he's not fighting back, but he's not necessarily being cooperative.
Just knock him on the head. Knock him out.
Oh wait. Are
we
doing
I'll
that?
take my blackjack out and pop him.
All right, go ahead. You don't need to roll for an attack on it, because he's grappled and you have him restrained. So you just are holding him and you pop him in the back of the head, and right in the middle of being like, not the one, boom, he's out. And he kind of crumples in your arms. He's fine. He's still breathing, but he is knocked out.
Okay. I'll lay him down gently.
Okay.
And you guys notice that I've got this little weighted bag that I bopped him with. So very non-lethal, but not my usual punching somebody in the face.
At that moment, let me see. Kaimana, since you're right at the entrance and with your perception, you do wait. Do the lizards have dark vision?
I don't think so, actually.
No. Okay. Well, you see one.
Really good sense of smell, though.
Yeah. Oh, he does have bonus on perception based on smell, so you probably would pick up on it. You see very clearly like one figure like peer out of the cave a little bit, and he sees you still there, and he disappears. Same
Oh,
figure
no,
ran away.
I do have dark vision. Okay.
Okay, you do. You're good. So you actually see everything. So you see the one that you saw before like peer out of the cave, and he notices you're still there, and he runs inside. You see another one that's kind of sitting there, like crouched down behind him a little bit. And then as soon as the other one turns and runs, he runs behind him. And in the darkness, you see what might be 5 or 6 shadows that are kind of scurrying further back into the cave, following the one who had scouted out.
I would like to roar into the cave.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
May I make an intimidation?
Roll an intimidation check.
That is a 14.
14. So you like get right up to the mouth of the cave, and you let this bellow out, and you hear like the and like the shapes that are in there, like 50 or 40, 30 feet away from you, they scatter, and they kind of go to the edges of the vision. Like this cave entrance is maybe 10 feet wide or so, and it kind of comes in, but you do see at the edge that it opens up into a chamber, and they scatter off into all directions in that chamber and kind of disappear from view. Oh no.
Oh no.
He disappeared on my way back. All right, so as you guys are all you've knocked out the one, the rain is starting to pick up a little bit. Do you all kind of join Kaimana and wash over at the mouth of the cave?
Yep.
Seems naturally enough.
All right. And so with our journey potentially into the cave, we'll go ahead and take our 10-minute break there. And hopefully Wash can get reconnected in the meantime. So we'll take 10, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
Thank you, Jen.
Jen.
Thank you, Tim.
So welcome back from the break. Where we left it, Ticket Takers had knocked out one winged kobold, had killed another, and then watched a third one run into the cavern system, while the fourth one is currently like rubbing on Wash's cloak and just wanting let's see, hold on. Nope, it's still like rubbing on your cloak and there. Once we get into combat, I'll have to roll. Like, how long does that spell last without having to make save? It's for as long as you're talking and communicating with him.
And if I can't talk, it'll stop.
Okay, so you are still. What are you telling this poor little kobold?
Oh, I'm affirming everything that he is saying, every bit, and then be like, hold on. Talk to the steed too. The steed needs some love.
Oh, your steed, your magical steed, the most beautiful steed to ever prance across the plains. Gorgeous.
I look over at Marlowe and go, gotta admit, this is a little creepy.
It does have some weird layers here that I don't really want to unpack right now.
And Kaimana, as your lizard, you saw maybe 6 kobolds further into the cavern. You scared them and they disappeared from view, but you know that there's more waiting for you inside.
You gonna tell us?
I can't. I'm a lizard.
I speak beast tongue.
Oh,
I
cool.
speak beast.
Okay, yeah. 5, 6 kobolds in the cave.
I pass it on.
Mm. Abel would prepare for battle.
Like, out of character real quick, guys. kobolds are dangerous.
In packs.
In packs.
That which this is.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's
I'm at 16
they can be
HP.
nasty.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, they gang up on you. You can go down even if you're high level.
All right. Any other things you guys want to do, or are you starting the process of heading into the cavern?
Yeah,
So the last thing that Kaimana saw, he saw the one like scout peek out, disappear, and then a couple that were in the shadows. One was kind of crouched down in the corner, and then he disappeared, and then the other kind of 3 or 4 shadows like flitted further back in.
I can go scout ahead.
Okay, roll a perception check.
12.
A 12. Okay, so as you move forward, you're kind of heading across, and right where you get to the point where Kaimana pointed out, like that's where the pack was before they disappeared. You feel against your leg something hit, like the shin part of your leg, and you hear ting, and I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Grenade! Dexterity saving throw?
Yeah.
21.
A 21. Okay, so and then who was following Saurus right behind him?
Probably would
I
have
was
been
scouting
me.
alone.
So Mar, I also need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
And so as Saurus, you feel this and you're like, oh no, and you kind of duck out of the way, and this giant log that had been held up in the roof of the cavern, like kind of hidden from view by the lip, swings down, and it's like studded with spikes, and it's swinging down in your direction. Mar, would you roll?
23.
23. But it's weird because like you're like, oh crap, this thing's gonna hit me, and you like dodge out of the way, but it stops right when it gets to 90 degrees, and you see there's this rope attached to the back that swings forward, and like trebuchets, a vat of something that goes flying past your head. Mar, you see this coming, and you like dive out of the way, and it flies past you, and you see it kind of crash further back, and you see like this green slimy liquid spill out of it across the grass, and immediately you see sizzling from the grass where this acid splashed into the grass. But this was like a Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone style, like contraption, that just kind of crashed through. Saurus, with your roll, your 12, you also see a trap door kind of nearby swing open, and out pours like 30 or 40 maggots about this big, in a like, and they kind of are hitting against the side of the wall and swarming in a space, about a 5-foot space, kind of on the edge of the cavern entrance.
Is that in front of us or behind us?
So it's in front of you, probably like, so the mechanism swung down in front of you, and then this is probably 10 feet behind that. So further into the cavern. Yeah.
That's really nasty.
You're like, I mean, they're probably this big, maggots, and they're just kind of swarming around and kind of.
It's nasty.
Well, I don't think stepping on all of them is going to be the way to go.
No.
Yeah, there's probably 15 feet of clearance as you're going in. They're kind of on the edge in the 5 feet zone, so you could potentially move around them if you wanted to. Okay, so you skirt around. As you're getting to the far edge, you notice like the maggots were just kind of writhing, like they start to like almost like they're sensing your presence. They're starting to move in your direction, but they're little maggots, and they're moving very slowly towards you. And so now that kind of swarm of maggots that was on the left-hand side of the cavern is now kind of moving into the center part of the cavern as you're skirting past them. You
Do they
keep,
seem to?
go ahead.
Do they seem to respond to lights?
I mean, there's light coming from outside, but as Saurus is going in, there's no light inside the cavern anywhere. So there's a little spill from outside, but it's really cloudy and there's rain. So there's not like it's not like there's direct sunlight pouring into the cavern area.
More likely heat.
Yeah, and with I think all of you have dark vision. Mar, do you have dark? You have dark
Yep,
vision. 'Cause you're
60 feet.
and you've got your goggles. So yeah, so everybody has dark vision, so you're good. Everyone can see fairly clearly what's happening.
From the mouth of the cavern, where Abel is kind of seeing and looking in, how far are these maggot creatures? Like,
From the mouth of the cavern, they're about 15 feet in.
oh, can I cast Firebolt? Well, how close is Saurus?
Saurus is like they're about 10 feet away from Saurus. So if you want to go ahead and cast Firebolt, roll.
Fry them.
Yeah, roll.
I don't want them to.
Yeah, light them up.
Yeah, and Saurus, they are getting closer to you. They're moving in your direction.
Oh no! I
So
will
roll.
roll for attack. 17 plus 5, 22,
That hits. Roll damage.
and it's a D10. 6 damage.
6. Okay, so you cast, and like this beam of fire energy flies out and splatters across the ground, and you see about maybe half of the maggots gets kind of scorched and thrown to the side and fall lifeless. But there's still about half of this swarm is kind of moving in Saurus's direction. And Saurus, they're getting.
I keep going.
Yeah, you move on past them, and they're following you, and you're able to stay ahead of them. Go ahead and roll a perception check, because as you're going, you've got about another 10 feet before this kind of hallway
Yeah,
cavern
there's going to be
area
more traps.
opens up into a much larger space.
Nat 20
Okay, good. You don't
with
see,
23. So
you don't see any other traps ahead of you, but you clearly see as you're coming into this cavern, there's 2 large entrances leaving out of this cavern, one to your left, one to your right. But in this very dim light and with your close perception, you see maybe 10 or 15 small little holes, maybe 3 feet across, that are just carved into the walls in various spaces, like in the floor, in the wall, in the ceiling, and they're kind of carved everywhere. It's almost like ant holes kind of crawling through sand. This space looks like a storage area. There's a lot of barrels and boxes and things. Are you making another firebolt attack at the grubs there, Abel?
Yes, I will cast one more firebolt.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
17 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, it's a 1 damage.
All right, so another so another kind of splatter, and like 3 or 4 more of the grubs kind of get splashed to the side. Saurus is now far enough away from them that they're not moving in his direction, so they've just kind of stopped moving and are just kind of swarming around in the center part of this tunnel.
You're going in and out.
you went
Are
out for a
you
second.
trying to
Josh.
stealth in here, or are you just walking?
Who? I'm
Saurus,
stealthing.
Sorry, yeah. Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
I am not stealthing that well, though.
No.
Considering I just set off a trap and there are firebolts being shot behind me,
Yeah.
it's not too surprising that I'm not going to sneak up on anybody. That's a grand total of
Yep.
5 plus 6, 11.
11. Okay.
Average.
Good to know. So a little better than average, yeah. So Source, do you stop when you get into this, where this cavern opens up, or do you keep going on into the
I'm
cavern?
going to stop at the entrance.
Okay, and then are you firing again at the grubs, Abel?
Yeah, I guess so.
Go ahead and roll again.
Are we really that scared of these grubs? Or should we like move in to back up our guy?
Kill the grubs, then come in.
Yeah, 13 to hit.
Hurt hits.
Oh, come on, just give me a D10. Just give me 10 on a D10. 7 damage.
7. So you hit again, and like 80% of them are dead. And so while they were kind of filling in a whole 5-foot space, there's probably, there's very few, but there's still enough that are there that are visible that you can see. There's probably 12 left, 12, 13.
Okay.
Step on them.
So,
Let the lizard eat them.
Soros, while you're there, Soros, you start to hear in one of, like, with your perception check, you start to hear kind of a skittering sound coming from one of the holes in the ceiling, one of the holes in the floor, one of the holes kind of further away, and then the entrance to your right. You hear not a skittering sound, but the sound of like metal, like and then dragging, and then dragging. Like it's like somebody's like putting some metal and then pulling it, and it's moving towards this cavern. What is everybody else doing? While this, like, nobody else can hear this, what Soros is hearing, but what is everybody else doing?
I'm gonna start to move towards Soros.
Are you gonna try to make a burn around where the grubs are? Okay, so easy enough with dark vision. You guys are able to skirt around the grubs, and thankfully Abel brought the swarm down enough that they're not an immediate threat as you kind of skirt around the outside of them. Is everybody else joining? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm coming behind Mar.
No, I'll go back to otter form.
Okay, you drop back into otter form. 15, 6, no, which makes it a 16. No. Oh, no, it's not going to be. What's your saving throw, Wash?
14.
Okay, let's see. Roll to 15. I don't think kobolds are wise. Nope. 13. -2. He is still enthralled as long as you're talking to him. Now, remembering that any spells that you cast will require you to stop talking to him. So, as you're kind of moving through. So you guys all make your way through. The grubs are there. Wash and Kaimana, your perception would pick up on their presence. Wash, go ahead and roll a perception check as you're moving into the cavern, because you didn't see the grubs because you've been focused on this kobold.
I just see him walking the kobold into the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a nat 1.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay, so you're busy kind of talking to this kobold, and you're making your way through. And what's your armor class?
14.
Okay, so it doesn't hit. So as you're walking through, you aren't really paying attention, and you suddenly feel like something like against the side of your leg, and then another one against the side of your leg, and then another one, and they're not able to pierce through your outer armor, but you immediately like look down, and there's like a swarm of like 12 like 2 or 3 inch long maggots with like these lamprey like mouths, like trying to pierce into your dragon scale hide.
Okay, I'm gonna like try to do my dragon's breath again, but because I can't. It's like not my good genes, not the good genes.
There's like a little crackle, like slight little crackle of lightning, but nothing like explosive comes out. Are you stomping at them while you're doing this?
Oh yeah, like holding them close up stomp.
So you do a couple more points of damage to them, and like you're killing several, and they're like every couple seconds you see this happening, but no, they're not able to pierce through your hide, and so you move past them. The kobold, however, you see like 2 of these creatures, 2 of these little like grubs, like one like leaps and gets onto its neck and bites and latches on, and then you see another one onto its chest and latch on, and for a second the kobold like reacts to this, but then he immediately goes back to paying attention to you, and you watch as these creatures like burrow into his skin.
Oh my god.
And the other one burrows in and disappears, and you see like the underneath his skin, like the movement of this. And
didn't we see this in the Mummy?
Oh yeah. So,
Oh no!
and as you're watching over the course of, like, you're watching this, like, oh my god, what is happening? Like 5 seconds goes by, 6 seconds, 12 seconds. The kobold suddenly goes, ugh, ugh, and collapses and dies.
I
Would
want to
it-
throw.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to throw my old like cloak out of my bag, the one that was made out of bed sheets, and be like, "You were the best worshiper any god could ever have."
At that moment, Saurus, you see coming out of that, like you see a shield hit, like a shield that's 3 feet tall, hit, and then pull, and you see like this kobold who is beefier, bigger, stronger than any that you've seen up to this point. Like he kind of throws the weight of the shield and then pulls himself forward on it, and he's got kind of this like jagged sword, and he pulls out and he's like looks over in your direction, is like, ah! Get them! And he just points in your direction. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Is he like have no legs? Is why he's dragging himself, or is it just because he's in a tunnel? Or
It looks like he's kind of like he's throwing his entire weight to like move the shield.
he's so small. The shield is.
and the shield
Yeah.
is as big as he is, and he's using his whole weight to like throw the shield, and then he like pulls himself up to the shield again, and then throws his weight again to pull it. So the shield is larger than he is. So let me go.
I
ahead and
love it.
flip our-
Reminds me of a sword fight I saw once in a Shakespeare production, where they went to fight and the swords were so heavy they can't lift them, so they're like dragging them across the ground and hitting against each other. And one of them finally gets it up in the air, and then just goes over backwards. It was
No.
hysterical. Apparently, they had a whole
Funny.
fight choreographed, and they were messing around like 2 or 3 days before opening, and it was so hysterical that they're like, "No, we got to do that instead." It was brilliant.
All right. Saurus, or Abel, you took 8, so you're down to 16. All right.
This is true. We can't really see like the bottom part of the map. We're
Which part?
kind of. Well, never mind. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mar,
Mm-hmm.
get on initiative.
I got a 8. An 8.
You win some, you
that-
lose.
Yeah.
Abel,
Sometimes you roll a 3.
I rolled a 3, so I got a 4.
wow. Okay, Kaimana.
I got an 8.
Killing it, gang.
Yeah.
22.
There you go.
Saurus,
20.
20. Good. Okay, good. And there we go. Okay, so up first. So, Wash, you hear this kind of screaming sound of like the kobold voices that you've heard before, but like a little more guttural and deep, of "Get them!" And what are you doing as you're hearing this happen? You are at the end of the cavern, or you're moving past the grubs, so you still got about 10 feet before you can get into the cavern proper. So you don't see what's
Okay.
happening.
Who's in the very front?
Saurus is in the very front. He's the only one in the cavern.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I want to yell up to Mar.
Okay.
Use them lightning guns.
Okay.
Is that an inspiration die for Mar?
Yeah, that's the inspiration. And
Do
then,
I still have the one that he gave me earlier?
It lasts an hour, I think. So, yeah.
Cool.
So Mar, you get the inspiration, and then you see this orb start to circle around you. This like ethereal orb start to circle around you. So there you go. You got your die of inspiration. Anything else you're doing there, Wash?
Can't I was thinking all those little orbs were like little chibi versions of everyone's character, so it's like their face. And then
The orb inside of the orb is like a little Mar, like posing a little bit, like
yeah, yeah,
and whatever. Yeah.
Is that what you think I look like?
No.
yeah. And then I'm just gonna move unseen servant up. He should still be next to me, so I want to move him up 15 feet.
Hold on, let me grab something we can use for Unseen Servant. It's Unseen Servant's not this big, but we'll go ahead and use this as our Unseen Servant. Okay. All right. Good. That's Wash's turn. That takes us to Saurus. So you're seeing this larger kobold there. And Saurus, what's your dexterity?
Dexterity is 18.
Okay, so you go first because the kobolds rolled the same as you. So you get to go.
So I hear sound coming from a couple of other tunnels.
Yeah. So where you heard sound coming from, kind of in the ground here, in the ceiling on this side, over here, and then that kind of dragging sound there where the big guy came out.
How far away from me is he?
5, 10, 15, 20 feet.
I'm going to go over, vault over his shield, and punch him.
Okay. So you're gonna hit him from behind like this?
Yep. Basically, do a handstand over the shield top and come down and just start wailing on him.
All right. As a monk with your acrobatics, you don't even need to check for that. So go ahead and roll your first attack.
12 plus 6, so that's 18.
That hits. So go ahead and roll damage on your first attack.
5.
5 points of damage. So you you jump up, grab the top of his 3-foot shield, and flip over the back. And as you're coming down, you kind of like elbow him straight into the jaw, and he or in the back of the head, and he curls forward and like glares back at you. Go ahead and roll. Are you gonna make a bonus attack?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I was debating flurry of blows, but I'm just going to do a regular.
Okay, go ahead and roll for your bonus attack.
17.
17 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
That is going to be 8.
8 more points of damage. Wow. So the unarmed strike was even more powerful. So after you elbow him, he kind of turns towards you, and right as his snout is gnarled, and he has like a nose ring pierced into part of his nose, and as he's turning around, you clock him aside the face, and he whips his head back. Very, very nice round on that. Anything else you're doing with your turn there, Saurus?
Sorry, I'm looking at one of my abilities. Sorry, I'm checking. Sorry for the delay. You can edit that down in post.
You've got patient defense if you want to, or you could.
It's actually Windfoot Celerity. Enemy opportunity attacks have disadvantage on turn 1. So I'm going to jump back over him and basically head back to where I was because I have 45 movement.
All right, so 5 4s.
So
he gets an attack of opportunity against you
with disadvantage.
With disadvantage, so that's a 9 plus 4. That's not good. That 13.
Nope.
13 misses. So he swings back out at you, but he's kind of dazed from the punch, and he misses, and you are able to escape from him. Good. That takes us to. So as you guys are kind of all starting to come in and to see this, popping out of a hole here, another kobold pops out there, another one pops out here, and then another one kind of is in the ceiling and then crawls down and pops here. And then out of this tunnel, you see a fourth one. And they're kind of popping out. They don't see anything close by, but this one is going to run up and take a strike at you, Saurus, as this one runs up on this side to take a strike at you as well. And they have pack tactics, so they get advantage if they're within 5 feet of each other.
Yep.
So they're each going to make an attack on you with advantage. So the first one has a spear, and he lashes out 17 to hit.
Yes.
All right. So you take 4 points of piercing damage as this one kind of it slams into your side. The second one, an 18 to hit.
Yes.
Has a dagger, and he slices up towards you, and you take 3 points of slashing damage from the dagger as he slashes it across your thigh. And then both of them immediately turn around and start to run away. You can use your reaction to hit one of them if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll pop the spear boy.
Okay, spear boy. Okay, so go ahead and roll an attack on him.
24.
24 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
That would be 7.
Okay, so the first one gets you with the spear. The second one slashes you with the dagger. The dagger one flips out behind and like tears off into one of the tunnels and disappears again from view. As the spear is turning to go, you just nail him in the back of the head with your blackjack, and he crumbles to the ground into.
Oh no, that was with my hand. That was
your
not with
hand?
blackjack.
Okay, so he crumbles to the ground and he's out.
Yeah, basically kick him in the back of the head.
Yeah, and like you kick him with such force, he just hits the ground and doesn't move again. So that is those 2 kobolds. These 2, seeing that happen, disappear back into the walls, and you don't know to where they've gone. All right, that takes.
I yell back that we've got kobolds and they're popping. We've got to play whack-a-mole because they're popping out of hidey holes.
All right, so that ends the kobolds, which takes us to the dragon shield. So now you see him, and he's kind of moving really slowly, and just kind of pulling himself along, and he eventually gets there, and he kind of gets up against the wall and is using the wall to kind of guard one part of him, and he's got the shield there in front of him with the other, and he has a spear that's attached to his back, and he kind of pulls it out, and it's almost like a Spartan move where he's got it against the side of the shield, and he's going to make 2 attacks against you from behind the shield. The first one doesn't hit. I think that's a 12.
Nope.
Okay, the second one, 18. That will hit.
Yep.
All right, and you take 1 on a d6 plus 1. 2 points of piercing damage as he and you dodge out of most of the way, but it just kind of nicks your side, and you get 2 points hit there. All right, and that ends the dragon shield's turn, which takes us to Mar.
I would like to enter this room, please.
Okay.
Oh, well, I will try to get on the other side so I can get flanking with Saurus.
Should be able to do that. Yep.
Cool. And then I will attack with my rapier. And I just figured out my lightning lasts until I take another rest.
Oh wow!
Just
yeah.
read that, so it's still going, I guess. And I will attack here.
All right, go ahead and make your attack.
That is
With advantage.
Yeah, let's see. It's an 18. I'll take that first one.
All right, go ahead and that hits. Go ahead and roll.
Okay. So
your damage.
This is the rapier. So that is a 7 plus 3, 10, 15 points of damage on the first attack.
Nice.
And then
Go ahead. Yep.
And then I'll come back in with my short sword.
Okay, go ahead and roll for your short sword.
23 to hit.
Yep, go ahead and roll damage.
7 points of damage.
7.
If you fillet this thing.
It's yeah.
This beefy for a kobold has like stormed in thinking he's going to kind of take this, and gets a hit off on Saurus, but then is immediately assaulted by Mar, who charges into the room. And one slash across that sparks electricity across him, and then another with the short sword. He's looking pretty hurt from all.
Oh, I forgot to see if I crit on that second one.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I don't.
Okay.
I just wanted to see.
But he's looking pretty hurt. Anything else you want to do with your turn there, Mar?
No, that's it.
All right, takes us to Kaimana.
So what's the second one in the room?
The second one is just so Wash knows where his unseen servant is.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come into the room.
Okay.
going to, let's see, how much movement do I have left?
You were at the end of the cavern, or you're towards the middle of the cavern, so that was probably 15 feet to get there. So you've got another 15 feet.
All right, so 2, 3. Can I run up, bop him, and then jump back?
You could get to him. That would be your full movement. Well, no, you could get here and hit him. Yeah, so then you'd have 5 feet to get away if you wanted to.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that then.
Okay, so go ahead and roll for attack.
Oops.
Come on, us snipes the kill.
I mean, I should specify also non-lethal. He's not out to kill anybody.
Marlowe is.
Yeah, well, we know Marlowe is.
If he had died by the lightning, that's not my fault.
Okay,
He
that's
died
an
from natural causes.
Yeah.
that's an 18 to hit.
That hits. Roll damage.
4.
4 points damage. So you bop him, and I mean he now kind of looks dazed as you crack your staff across his face, but he's still standing. And then you want to move 5 feet away from him.
Yep,
He does have an attack of opportunity if you move.
that's fine.
Okay, so he's going to take a swing at you with his, or he's going to stab out at you with his spear. That is a 16 to hit.
That is my armor class.
That is your armor class. Okay, so you can take another 1 on a d6. Take 2 points of piercing damage as he stabs out at you as you're kind of getting out of his way, but you are able to move it after that point. Anything else you want to do on your turn there, Kaimana?
That's it for my turn.
All right, next up is Abel.
Okay, so I will come into the room. How much
15
movement?
15 feet of movement can get you there.
Okay. Can I move up 5, 10, 15, another 15, like right next to the Cobalt guy?
Oh, you want to get over here? So 5,
I
10.
wanna-
Yeah, you can get here.
I want to take him out.
Okay.
And I want to see if I can hit him with my quarterstaff two-handed.
All right, go ahead and roll for your
I'm
attack.
gonna make sure.
Just in a circle, just beating on this dude, huh?
Exactly.
No one in
Yeah.
France can see it.
Kaimana taps out, Abel taps in.
This guy, he knew that there were like 3 people, and so he was like, "Oh, we got this."
I want to.
But it was the wrong 3 people.
Yeah.
If I do a ranged like cantrip, am I at disadvantage because I'm
At disadvantage where you currently are.
okay? Can I take a back 5 feet of my movement and maybe like back 5 feet or something?
Yep.
Is that still disadvantaged or not?
No, you're fine now. You can roll range normally.
Okay, I'm gonna hit this guy with my force ballista.
Okay, go ahead and roll for attack.
21 to hit.
21 hits. Roll damage.
That's 2d8 plus 3.
Oh, okay. So, you but go ahead and roll damage just to see how much you do.
It was
He
12.
blowed up. He blowed up good.
Okay, go ahead and describe how this dragon shield is killed by your force ballista.
I'm going to on my little mechanical elephant, like mounted on my wrist like a gauntlet. I'm going to aim directly for his head, like right between the eyes, and I'm going to let out like a concentrated blast, of just force energy, just like explode his little knoll head.
All right,
And
so
Source and I are covered in brains.
So Source and Mars, you're there and you're prepared for another attack, and you hear from a little bit further into the chamber, you hear the sound of the
I imagine like Source and I lock eyes and we both know what's coming.
you see this blast of energy slam into the kobold, and its head vanishes, and you just see the energy carry all of the brain matter and blood, and it splatters against the wall and starts dripping down, and then he drops to his, or the rest of his body drops out, and that dragon shield is gone. Good.
Kaimana screams.
Anything else?
I just picture Marlowe and Soros looking at each other, and it's from The Witcher when Geralt figures out what he has just done with the thing, where he just goes, Oh fuck.
It's like
Alright,
we couldn't
anything else
see
to
each other until the head was gone, and then we just have that eye contact where we're like, all right.
Anything else to the turn, Abel?
No, that's my bonus action. I guess I technically still have an action, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Fucking. I think I'm. Can I just hold one of my spells? Can I do a spell as an action if
Yeah.
I've used my? Okay.
Because the force, it's not your bonus action force cannon. That's not a spell.
No.
So you can cast a spell as an action and then use your cannon as a bonus action.
Can I like hold my action to cast firebolt if something else?
Whatever
comes
you
up?
see that pops up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got that. Good. Now, Wash, this brings us to your turn. You're looking around in this room. You don't see anything.
Wow, we are a murder machine. Shoot. I want to give Kaimana inspiration just because you are the best method actor I have ever met in my life.
All right.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, good.
You've made
Soros?
good method actors? That's crazy.
Saurus, your turn up. You don't see anything, but you know that there were at least 4 kobolds in the area.
I am going to head over to the left-hand passageway and look down it.
This one over here.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll a perception check as you're looking.
Perception. I should know this by now. 22.
22. Okay, as you're looking down the path, it's a pretty straight shot cavern walkway that opens up into another chamber. This chamber looks like maybe a larder. There you can see like meat hanging from hooks at the top of the chamber. It's only got like maybe a 5 or 7 or 8 foot roof, and then there's barrels all around, but it looks maybe like a larder of some kind.
Any entrances into it that I can see?
It curves around, so you don't know what's on this side, but you do see a couple of those little warren holes, like here, here. There's a couple on the ground, and dotted all around.
The great thing is that you are just off camera with where you were pointing.
Oh,
but
okay.
we get the idea, so that's good enough.
Let me see. Oh yeah, good. Let me move this a little bit. That's why you can see a little better. Yeah. So
how much movement do I have left?
That was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So you've got
40
15,
left.
40,
I got
50.
20 left.
Oh yeah, 20 left. Okay.
My base movement is 45.
Okay, yeah. So you got 20 feet if you want to.
I'll move 10 feet further down the corridor.
Okay. With your perception check, you do notice that there's a trap door right here as you get closer, just like in the side of the wall.
Can I get to it?
Yep. You can get across to it and examine it if you'd like to. You already did a perception check on the room, so you'd have to wait to do an investigation check on the trapdoor.
Yep. I'm gonna wait and see if something pops out it.
Okay, so you're standing against the edge of it. That's good. With your perception, you don't see like a tripwire or anything. So there's nothing that would. You don't see a tripwire or pressure plate nearby that would activate this trapdoor. So there's something else that activates it. All right, that ends Saurus's go, which takes us to the kobolds. So, Mar, you hear behind you popping out, boop, a kobold from a warren. From the ceiling, which is about 10 feet, one drops down here. And then on this side, one rushes in towards you, Kaimana. And then the fourth one pops in from the back and is going to hit you, Abel. So
Can I release my held
go ahead and
action?
release your firebolt. Would it be the first one that popped into the room, or would you want to wait till
Probably the first one that popped into the room.
Okay, so it'll be this one here. So go ahead and roll. Or sorry, this one here. So go ahead and roll your attack against that one.
Rolling. Natural 19, a 24 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage. This will determine whether or not the other kobold gets advantage on its attacks.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully it'll take it out. A 10 on a D10.
So as these two kobolds are charging in at Mar, just as this one's leaping up with like this small little sword to stab into her back, you blast it out of the air and it is wiped off. Good. So that removed the advantage. So against Mar, this is a 17 hit.
Yes.
All right, 4 points of piercing damage from a spear attack from that one. Kaimana, natural 1 doesn't hit. And Abel does a 12 hit.
Does not.
Does not. So Abel and Kaimana, these kobolds charge at you with one with a dagger and one with like what looks like a small club with some spikes on it. Both of them clash out, and you dodge out of the way and avoid them. This one here is going to try to. There's a warren behind it. It's going to try to dive into the warren. You can make an attack against it. This one here is going to head back this way. Kaimana, if you want to use your reaction, you can. And Mar, this one realizes that it's cornered. It's kind of stuck. So it's going to move around you.
Okay.
But not leave your attack range.
That's fine.
Did you say I can make an opportunity attack? Or?
Yeah, with your quarterstaff. And also Kaimana, if you want
I rolled a 13.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. 3.
3. Okay. So you hit that one with the quarterstaff, and it stumbles a little bit, but it does make it into the warren and disappears. And then Abel?
Yeah, I rolled a 13 also.
That
11,
hits.
2. And would I be able to do a two-handed swing on this? Or?
Yeah, you'd have to kind of say it ahead of time, but you can go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because I'm trying to think, like, I'll just do it one-handed. It's fine. It would be a 7. Sorry, 1 damage. 1 damage.
1 point damage. So you kind of smack this one, and it does dive into that warren and disappear. All right. So there's only the one still left there, Mar, and it does take us to your turn.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hit that one.
And roll your damage. Roll your attack.
22 to hit.
That hits.
Kill him.
So you knock this one. It had 1 hit point left, I think. So
Okay.
Yeah. So you got that one now.
But I do overkill it.
Oh, totally.
And then I look like a little, like, I don't go for the second, like I start going for the second, like the offhand attack, and then I just kind of like stop and I'm like, just put it away.
Yeah, you kind of slap out with your rapier, and it just kind of like pierces through it, and you're just like, oh well, shit, and then like, whatever. All right, so that brings us Kaimana, Abel, Wash, Saurus. What are you guys wanting to do? Because that's the kind of the order. I'll let you all kind of make your decision together as you're waiting to see if the kobolds are going to make another attack.
How big am I compared to the kobolds?
About the same size.
All right, I want to go after them into the warren.
Oh crap! Okay, so the one that went in that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you crawl in, and let me see. Let me grab a marker real quick.
What are you doing? Sounds like candy. If you're opening candy.
All right, so as you're going through Kaimana, you see that this warren here kind of curves like this and goes this way, and it's just small enough for you to go in. At some point, it curves around, and you can't see the area that it's going.
I keep going.
Okay, what's your full movement speed?
35.
Okay, so you get around the corner, and it kind of curves this way, and you see a branch going off like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see this branch kind of going like this, kind of out of sight. You keep moving?
Yep.
All right, as you get here, that kobold that attacked you and dashed away is sitting right there laying in wait.
Thunderwave.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
I just see the back end of this thing just flying out.
Is that a saving throw or is it an attack roll?
I think that's a saving throw.
I think it's a dexterity saving throw, if I'm not mistaken.
So, Constitution saving throw.
Constitution. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
Well, I
it-
was
yeah.
like, sweet. He rolled a 10. He didn't. He rolled a 9.
I've got that one.
So, yeah, that definitely hits.
2d8 thunder damage.
Describe what happens to this kobold after you, because he had 2 hit points left. So,
Oh, poor guy. What's the where's it open back out onto the cavern?
once you got there, you kind of saw that this one connected here,
Yeah.
like midway up the wall, and you can't really see where this one is.
All right, so Thoris,
Yeah.
like, there's this like wet noise behind you as like part of the wall that you thought was stone, like ejects just like viscera, and like you don't know what caused it, but like it was real loud.
So it was there's just a rain of gushing matter pouring. But you don't see any other kobolds in the area that you're in, Abel. Or Kaimana. So that kind of ends your turn. You've got maybe
Yep.
5 feet of movement. Okay. Abel, Wash.
I guess I'm going to follow suit with my little buddy Kaimana and just kind of head towards where I saw the guy that I whacked run.
Okay. There's a hole. It's right behind you. Right there.
Oh, okay.
You look down. The hole goes straight down, maybe 5 feet, and then curves to the north a little bit, and out of sight. The hole is probably only 3 feet wide, so a little bit. It would be a squeeze for you to get through.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get to that hole. Can I just cast Thunder Wave into the hole? It's supposed to be like a 15-foot cube, and hope it hits something.
Just that will hit Mar.
If I do it in the hole, it'll hit Mar?
Well, it's a 15-foot cube around you.
I can take a hit.
Oh, is it? I'm
Yeah.
not
You
gonna
really,
say-
if you want to do this cool thing, like I can take the hit. It's all right.
All right, no bitch, Mark can take it.
Grace will not be mad at you.
Well, I will. Okay.
I usually Source is saying it behind him, and then another boom behind him.
It's also not Grace I would worry about.
Yeah.
I cast Thunder
Okay,
Wave.
so you cast Thunderwave. Grace, make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
What's your spell DC, Abel?
It's a 13 con
13.
saving.
Okay.
I rolled a 14.
Okay, you saved. She doesn't take damage at all, right?
I don't know. Hold on, let me see.
I don't know.
half damage.
It's a save.
Yeah.
Is it half
On a
damage. Or no?
successful, it takes half.
Okay,
Yeah.
so go ahead and roll your damage.
Uh, 8 halved, so it'll be 4.
All right, so Mar, you feel this concussive blast kind of hit you, and it tries to force you back a little bit, but you hold your ground, but you do suffer 4 points of force damage. And then Abel, from right here and here, 2 kobolds fall out of the ceiling. And they're,
Unseen Servant is dead.
I don't think Unseen Servant takes damage. So
Worth it.
there you go. All right. So that accounts for 3 of the 4 that disappeared. So, oh no, 1 was killed. So you're good. So as far as you know, there are 4 dead kobolds, and you don't see anything else. So that kind of takes us out of combat a little bit, for sure.
All right.
that's
I'm
okay.
gonna check out this trap door thing.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
15.
15. So you kind of looking at it, pushing against it a little bit. It definitely opens out.
Mhm.
but it does appear that it's kind of locked in place, so you can't open it. But you don't see a mechanism to open it. It seems it's probably on the other side of the door.
Okay.
I'll keep going to the left.
Okay, so you pop out here in this room, and go ahead and roll a perception check. Come on, as you're popping out in the room.
Ooh, that's not good. Well, I got a +6, so it's 12.
A 12. Okay, so as you're kind of looking around, there's elements of this that look like a larder. There's racks of meat, mostly old, with like flies flying around it, kind of rotted and fetid. There's moldy grains and fruits in a basket next to you. In the back here, you notice what looks kind of like a table with some shiny, maybe like glass vials and things on top of it.
Well,
Oh, you know what's happening.
It's over.
Yeah. Let me check that out.
Okay, so you head that way. When you get
set him up. That's not fair.
well, I know I just have to say we're shiny. It's fine. When you get there, what you notice is it looks like a laboratory table. And somebody who's familiar with herbalism and things, you recognize a lot of the implements and tools here. There's beakers and like a place to apply heat, and it does look like there's in process maybe a potion being brewed here. You do notice on the edge of the chamber there's a small cage that contains what looks to be 30 or 40 centipedes. Just kind of right there on the edge of the laboratory table, and there's nothing written anywhere or any writing, but this does appear to be somebody's laboratory.
Can I try to figure out what potion they were trying to brew?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a medicine check.
Probably not. That's a 7.
You're uncertain, but it definitely has kind of a strong pepperminty smell.
All right.
Are we out of combat? Are we kind of like free?
You're out of combat, yeah.
Can
As
I
far
go explore the other way that away from where Source and Kaimana are?
Mar, go ahead and roll a perception check.
I want to like kind of go with Mar.
Okay.
21.
21. Okay, so Mar, as you're looking down here, this cavern descends, like the pathway descends deeper into the earth here, and it opens up into what looks like the few things that you can kind of see. It looks like a training room. Like there's like straw dummies in areas, and like a couple like piles of hay that are maybe used as like crash mats or things like that, but it looks like a training space. What you do immediately notice is that hanging, I'm gonna pull back up the screen so I can make sure you guys can see. Yeah, so hanging right here over the art, like the entrance, there's a banner, and the banner has the open, it's kind of like bro style tribal tattoo of a dragon's head, and the dragon's mouth is open, and then there's these stylized wings that are curling around the dragon's head and kind of framing the dragon's head. And so there's a banner there that's hanging over the entrance into this training hall.
Happy 6th birthday, Kevin.
All right. Around that time, Swords, you do hear what sounds like jingle jangling coming from this direction. And as you got closer, there's another kind of.
Yeah, I'll go around there and check out that other passageway.
Okay.
I'll accompany.
So you move away from the laboratory thing and you go over there.
Yes.
Saurus, looking down, you see there's a kobold standing kind of here. And he looks a little different. Like now that you've had time to kind of reflect, all the other kobolds that you've seen are green skinned, but they were all wearing very like violet robes or violet sashes. This one's dressed very, almost like druidically, very much like there's vines and He's wearing a green robe, but strapped to his body are like there's a cage that looks like it contains a skunk. There's a bag that is like making a buzzing sound. He's holding a staff, and at the back of the staff, there's like a scorpion that's tied onto the staff.
It's Spurt. It's Spurt.
And so he has like, and he's got like a single monocle, and he's just kind of looking at you, and he goes, "We're friends here, looking friends, friends."
Friends.
Friends?
Friends.
Friends.
Okay. He lowers the staff with the scorpion to the ground, and he says, "Who you? What are you doing here?"
I'm gonna tell him that like just one moment I have a present for him.
Present?
And then I'm gonna dash back to the lab and grab the scorpion cage, or not scorpion, the centipede cage.
Okay, so you bring it, and the moment he says, "No present, that's mine. I made. That's me."
Damn it! It was worth a shot. Like, well, I'm gonna tell him that I really, really like it. I'm gonna give him, set it down, and tell him that my name's Kaimana.
You, Kaimana. My name Togs. I make these, and so he shows you like that. There's like he shows you the cage, and there's like a latch on it. That if it were to like impact the ground, the latch would probably open, and the centipedes would fly out in all directions.
Did you make the maggots at the front of the cage, Togs?
Oh yes, I did. And he shows you like he lifts up, and you see like he has another kind of jar that's filled with more of them, and he's like, "Yes." And did it work?
Yes.
That's great. I love making traps.
Oh, he's a little artificer.
Now, there are bad kobolds here. I set mini traps, and some of them killed them, but I set many more traps. But they used to be good, but then they turned bad.
How did they turn bad?
They stopped following the one that they should be following and followed one that's new.
How do we know the bad ones from the good ones?
And he pulls his cloak and he says, "The good ones still worship the right one, and they are green, like this, because we worship Dimwala. The bad ones, they say they worship their new gods, the childs of the new gods.
Well, that's not right.
And they're violet."
We've met a few of those.
And he kind of, so you would see, but so violet is the kind of the coloration that he references.
Yeah. They weren't as friendly as you.
They used to be.
My condolences then.
Thank you. Why are you here?
We were curious.
I'm
always curious. What were you curious about?
Somebody took something from the human village nearby.
Yes, they did. They are storing it in the temple that they built below.
We must take it back and stop them from taking more stuff from the human village.
Okay. I warn you that there are many traps between here and there. And so he kind of describes where Mar has walked. He's like, in the training area, there's a door that leads to another room in which he has placed many buzzing bees.
At this point, Mar is opening a door on the other side.
I see it, and then I just shut the door.
Then he says,
"No, we'll call it talking."
The temple is guarded by the twin brothers of this one, and he holds up the cage that has the skunk, and he shakes it a little bit, and then the skunk turns around and sprays. So Kaimana and Saurus, he's moved closer to you. If you can roll dexterity saving throws, because he's accidentally activated a skunk trap.
Do I get advantage because I know what would really piss off a skunk?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. All right, that is a 20. Okay, it's 20.
You're good. Saurus?
The incredibly graceful athletic. Saurus is caught flat-footed with a 7.
Oh, so you're like listening and super.
I just see Kamana ducking and just.
I didn't have time to warn you, buddy.
And you're like, oh, it's an animal that maybe I haven't. Oh God! Cloud of fetid, and I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw as this cloud of stuff just pours across you, and you're getting close to gagging and retching.
And I'm going to use my bardic inspiration on this one.
Okay.
Good.
If you use it to make a saving throw, you get a bonus for something. I think you get temporary hit points or something.
Pulling it up right now. Protection saving throw can spend up to temporary hit points either no the barn and your charisma and your commander. Right, because okay, so yeah, I get temporary hit points.
Good. Okay, so go ahead and roll your your Constitution saving throw.
Okay, that is 7.
Plus
With a 5 with a 5 on the bardic inspiration.
So you get 5 bonus temporary hit points.
6 bonus because
6
I also get a charisma. Yeah.
However, you do spend the next 12 seconds throwing up the hot cross bun that you ate earlier in the day. All right. And he kind of pulls it back and he goes, "Oh, Tog, sorry, I forget. He's super skittish."
You don't say.
But it worked. It works.
Yep.
And so he's kind of there, and he says, "Are you free my people from this curse of the bad follower, the bad ones?"
If we do that, you not visit the human village?
No, we will go back to the Deepwood where we belong.
Agreed.
And he says, "Now you need to be careful. There's one who is not like, he's kind of searching for the kind of words to describe. He's like, there are 2, and they can do the magics. They can to cast the fire and things, and they channel the divinity of the dragons. But there's one who's different. He's infected with shadows. Be careful of this one."
See the little otter just.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you mean infected with shadows?
When he casts his spells, there's and he's really like this is outside of his frame of reference. But it's like a curse, and sometimes these beings of shadow beings will rise up and attack who's ever nearby when he casts his spells this way.
Okay. Thank you for this information. You are very helpful. You are a friend.
You friend too. Togs Kaimana. Togs, your name?
Saurus.
Saurus. Sorry about the skunk.
I've had worse.
Right.
I've had worse done to me.
He also kind of like points back and says like that I built a trap here. Don't step here. And he points and, like your perception's good enough, Kaimana, you can see that like it looks like he's been like chiseling at the ground, and there's cracks in the ground. And in this room there's a little bit of light kind of at the center that's hitting the central spot, and right in that area you can see that he's been making like what looks like a pit hole or a pitfall. So if somebody were to step on it, it would potentially break out from underneath.
Yeah, let's not mess with that.
Yeah. All right.
How do we get to the underneath where the temple?
You have to go through. We put a door. It's through the training hall. You can go that way. Don't go to the sleeping den. That's where the bedrolls. There's no exit there. It's in the training hall. There's a path. There's a door, and it has the new god. It has the new god on it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, come on, shall we rejoin the others and go find the bad ones?
Yes.
All right. So you guys kind of all head over to where Mar is. Mar, you've looked into this room enough now. You don't like as you've been sitting here, there's no more kobolds have come out. There's no other ones that have appeared. It seems that you're relatively safe. You've explored through this whole area. There's a lot of, I mean, like I said, training implements really crude handmade weapons and dinged up daggers and spears and things. Further in, directly kind of across from you, there's another hallway entrance that goes into a space where there's like sleeping bedrolls. It's a very small room, but there's a lot of bedrolls in there. There's like maybe 15 or 20. And then you did see a path that led into a hallway that does end in a large doorway.
And I point out that it is 10:23 at night.
Yep.
So is this a good stopping point, perhaps?
If you guys want, I mean, like, you've got the temple ahead of you, so depending on whatever happens there, so we can pick up with you all discovering the temple next week. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Sounds
So
like a
we're
plan.
in the Cobbled Den, and we'll see what this temple and the children of the new gods have to hold. So thanks everybody for tuning in for the evening.
One thing, I'm going to the shield boy. I'm going to search him.
Okay, go ahead and roll it. Last little bit. We'll do an investigation check. Yep.
Shield boy.
Investigation 12.
12. So obviously his large shield, and when you're looking at it, it's weird. It looks like there used to be something painted on it that has been painted over, and there's like flecks of like green in the background, but the front image isn't a dragon, it's a human. But it's a human in violet robes.
I could use a shield.
It's about it's a 3 foot tall shield. You could
big
probably
one.
I give it to Abel.
All right.
Well, let's hold on to it for me. I think I'm in the other room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are all kind of close enough together. Okay. The only other thing he had a small kind of jagged short sword that was jagged only because the edge had been so beaten that it was like cut out. And then he had a handmade spear that looks like maybe it was made from like the claw of some kind of beast or something.
I don't need either of those.
Okay. And yeah, he had nothing else. He had maybe some, there was a couple like stones that were little shiny stones.
I give the shiny stones to Kamana.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like little like
Gimme.
they're little like granite with some like feldspar inflections in it, so it's like shimmers.
I know, babe. I see.
All right. Anybody else before we? All right. So you're outside the doorway entrance. The last thing you're seeing before we kind of close out is the same image that's painted on that shield has been painted onto this large doorway, and that symbol of the dragon head with the folded wings around its head is over the top of this. It's a very crude painting, but it does appear to be a man with pale skin, white hair that hangs down, no clear features, velvet robe that stretches to the bottom, and he's standing there underneath this kind of guarding, like this image of him is painted on the outside of this doorway, and we'll pick up there next week to see what's behind it.
All right.
Thank you, door number one.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was
Thank
fun.
you.
Good night,
Catch you guys
everyone.
next week. Good night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.